everybody. Welcome to the Mind of the Shape, episode 11. Turn this light off. And of course, this episode we're going to talk about Halloween Kills. Kind of one of the biggest ones. Kind of like I guess you want to say like kind of a controversy. People loved it. People didn't quite care for it. I actually loved it. I love what they did with Halloween Kills. And again, I kind of wish we got something like that. In Halloween Ends, but we did. But before we get started, I do have my guests on tonight. Of course, she's always with me. She's my partner in crime, and pretty much my joy when I started. Welcome to Mind of Shape, but all the other ones. She's been right there beside me and been with me through it all. And like I said, I'm really happy to have her on every Monday night. Y'all know, love her is basically Brittany.
Hey, now my mic is on. Hey.
How's it going? Hey, did you see Michael here?
I did see Michael. It was kind of like the Batman and Bruce Wayne effect. Like 1 minute he's here, next minute he's not,
I know, right?
It's crazy.
Scary. I also got my other guest on. Looks like he's here. Oh, there he goes. And first time on the channel, and he's an awesome guy. We have back and forth all the time. Like I said, he was there for me, like I said, during some things, and like I said, we're brothers, pretty much. So, but first time on the channel, and it is none other than Donnie.
What's up, everybody?
How's it going?
How you doing, man? How you doing, Brittany? Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Yeah, this is Brittany. This is Donnie.
Nice to meet you. I'm Brittany.
Hey, likewise, I'm Donnie. What he said.
And of course, we have our first, chat of the night. Mrs. Shape says, "Hey, hey."
Hey, hey, hey.
Mrs. Shape. She's always in shadows with the Shape.
She's always there.
All right, so I says we're kind of getting to pretty much right towards the end now. We got Halloween Kills. Next will be Halloween Ends. Oh man, I can't. We need to start bringing more Halloween movies back in. Come on, you're giving us Scream. You give us all the other ones. Come on, give us some more Halloween stuff. Come on, this one, Michael Myers. All I ask for.
I want them to do one just to redeem Ends. That's all I want.
Yes, I would like that.
Maybe they should do what they did with Justice League. Do like a separate cut, like what the movie could have been, like what they planned the movie to be.
Oh yeah, the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, maybe that's what they should do.
Exactly, they should do. But I mean, again, they already said they're done with their trilogy. I mean, again, like there's just so many other people that can come up with to do another Halloween film. I actually posted a video. It was last week about doing like a flashback. Like do another like 78 type feel with the flashback, but instead of doing have bring Laurie Strode back or bring any other characters back, just do from 78 again. Continue from 78, and where Michael Myers disappeared, and Loomis is like hunting Michael, and you're seeing Loomis travel from place to place trying to find Michael, and the kills. And every time there's a kill, Loomis is there, but Loomis misses him. You know what I mean? So he's like hunting Michael. I think that would be like an awesome scene because like at the beginning of H2O, where you see like all the stuff on the wall of Loomis's room, where it's got the map, it's like everything's pinpoint. Where there's a murder here, there's murder here, there's murder here, there's Michael. Do something like that. I think that'd be way better to do if they ever decided to do another film. Like don't bring back other characters. Like don't bring Jimmy Lee Curtis back. Maybe Daniel Harris come back if they want to do something like that. But just start fresh. Start a whole new storyline, whole new characters, and then start developing the characters as the movie progresses. And like get that guy again who played Dr. Loomis in Kills for the flashback scenes. Have him come back, play Loomis, and then maybe like the second or third film, he dies, and but you can still continue the story where you're either hunting Michael, you're trying to find Michael, or something like that nature, having something continuing the story. So that way you're not going from different timeline. Kind of keep it consistent, like Scream does. Keep it consistent.
Mm-hmm. I would enjoy that.
Does when Dr. Loomis when did the care transfer from him to Sartain? Because as you were saying that, it made me think about would that then you said like go all the way up to maybe like when Loomis dies. So then would that connect into when Sartain takes over, or would you keep that separate?
Oh, I'll keep that separate. But this basically be like a whole new storyline. So no more 18 kills, and then it's like that timeline's gone. This is a whole new timeline, but just continue off from 78, where Michael disappears, and then Loomis is hunting Michael. Have like a storyline continue with that. I mean, I think that'd be better because that way in a way you're not really tied down to Laurie Strode or Allison or Jamie. You're not tied down to much, but you're starting new characters. You could get more developed in. That way you're continuing their story, like a new storyline where if they want to mention, Laurie Strode or like that, say, oh, she survived, she left, she's gone, Michael moved on, he's out there somewhere killing people. I gotta go find him, I gotta stop him. Something like that,
Sure.
Yeah, I would like that. Maybe like Loomis, like you said, he goes from like different cities, different states looking for Michael. And maybe along the way we do get like not like really characters that we care about, but maybe like like you said, Danielle Harris come back as maybe she can be Lindsay still, come back and like let's say Lindsay just moved town, but now they have word that Michael may be back in that town. So who shows up? Dr. Loomis. That would be a good movie, and they could just continue on, and then that way, like if we don't care that much about the people they bring back, we can have more body count. And that way it can be like a real manhunt. Like more people want to look and find Michael because like he's leaving this state or this city with this many body count and moving to the next one. So that'll be good. That'll be a good movie. I'll watch it.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see it outside of Haddonfield.
Yes.
Yeah.
You only had one movie or two?
Yeah, one
outside.
No, yeah, it was one because it was H2O when they were in California. Resurrection, that one took place back in Haddonfield because they went back to his house.
Yeah. All of them in Haddonfield, yeah.
Chicago Horror Fan in the chat says, hey, Shape, how's it going, Chicago Horror Fan? Or Chicago Horror 2023.
Yeah, I think that would be cool but I was wondering, you said to go back to 78. So you think that that's always going to be the basis foundation? Do you think you could start a storyline from any of the other ones and build off of that? Or you think it always has to go back to that one because that's when you kind of see him as a child and that thing? Or do you think you could build off of Halloween 4 and continue from there with a storyline or anything like that?
Yeah, you can always build off from either or. I mean, heck, you can build off from Resurrection, where Michael's actually going after John. He's trying to find John, trying to kill John. They can do something like that. My only thing is, if they don't want to keep, doing like, either this is a sequel to Halloween 4, or the sequel to Resurrection, or anything like that nature. If they want to kind of start fresh and just, again, go back to 78, but then do a whole new storyline from 78, where Michael Myers disappeared. And, like, no one caught him. He was never captured. He just disappeared. And, like I said, Dr. Loomis was hunting him. I think that would be kind of a better storyline. But, again, I would love to see, maybe like a continuation from Halloween 5 or a continuation from Halloween Resurrection. Again, I always want to see what happened to John. Where did John go?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to see. I want to see John back. Like, where'd he go? He just disappeared.
Yeah, and I want to see the time that, let's say we can go back to, like you said, Halloween 5. I want to see what happened with Michael and Jamie. Like, he took her or whoever took them at the end. I want to see maybe a movie based on them traveling together or, whatever happened. I don't want to really go deep into, what happened because she ended up pregnant in the next one. But besides that, we can just cut that out and let's just say that they're just trying to form her to be the next Michael. Like they're trying to transform her to be, a killer too. They can maybe do something with that, with them taking her from that point in Halloween 5.
Yeah, they could have went a different way with that cult thing than what
they
did. Like,
I hate thinking about it.
And that part where he's standing there at the altar at the beginning during the credits, he's just standing there, like it's so annoying when I see that because I'm like, he would kill everybody in that room. Why is he just standing there like that? Like,
Yeah.
He's
Look, I mean,
basically like a pit bull on a leash. Like, they keep it ever so, tugged, but he has that much length to go.
and some stones stop him.
Yeah. I mean, again, age 6 has its problems, but at the same time, I get more like even with all the Halloween films, but when it comes to age 6, I get that that dark type of Halloween feel, that Halloween atmosphere feel. With the cold rain, the leaves. It's kind of chilly outside because everybody's wearing like hoodies and jackets and stuff. You get that more of that feel, especially when they have the the little gathering, with the whatever it was, because the radio guy was going to be there. He all that atmosphere. Yeah. It's just the whole atmosphere of the film, the lightning. When the lightning comes through, Michael's walking down. All that stuff. I always enjoyed Halloween 6 because of that. And of course, I do like how Michael's a little more brutal in Halloween 6. But again, it's just the atmosphere of Halloween 6 that I really enjoy.
Yeah, I could totally understand. I mean, it's just like what you said, but it's just certain moments though where I'm like, really? Like I just don't like how it looks. Let's put these marbles on the floor and it's gonna stop this deranged killer.
If only Loomis knew that the last
yeah,
time.
right? Like he beat him into did he have a heart attack or he had a stroke? I can't remember which one it was.
I think it was a mild stroke or a heart attack. Yeah.
Like
Chicago Horse said, Chicago Horse said, I'm doing good. Did you saw Five Nights at Freddy teaser trailer? What do you think? I haven't seen it yet.
I saw it.
Yeah, I did too.
Was it good?
It looks pretty good.
I was scared. You were scared? It looks scary.
Yeah, I'm not going to Chuck E. Cheese anytime soon.
What's funny is I was just at Chuck E. Cheese a couple of days ago, right before they did that.
So you got there right before the possession.
Yeah, right before
happened.
I could be scared,
Miss Shape says, yes, the cult thing is stupid in my opinion.
It is. That was one of the weaker points of that movie.
She don't care about period. She don't care about 6 period.
Don't get me wrong. I like that movie. I mean, if it comes on, I'll watch it because, like what you said, it's like that's the first time I feel like we saw him like just be more straight to the point, just brutal. Because obviously it's way before kills or anything like that. So, that was like the first time we saw that. So yeah, I could understand. And then that movie has the cut. It's got the different cuts of it. There's like a director's cut, and there's like
and we have Paul Rudd. Who doesn't love Paul Rudd?
Yeah, or Paul Stephen Rudd, depending on which version you're watching.
Yeah, depending on which version you're watching. Yeah. I was wondering, when did he make the decision? He just thought one day, you know what? Let's just drop the Stephen.
Yeah, that's not gonna look good on my Ant-Man.
Yeah, he probably saw that. It was just like, that's too many names. Let's just drop one.
So Halloween Kills. Now, again, when Halloween Kills, there's a lot of Once it came out, I really loved it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. I saw people on Instagram, TikTok, people loved it, and then there's people like, it's a crappy Halloween movie. It wasn't that great. I hated it. Blah 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 blah. But for me, I really enjoyed Halloween Kills. So what did you guys feel about Halloween Kills? So Brady, you go first.
I think I've said it last time when we talked about Halloween 2018. We could half it. And I enjoy half. Well, not even half. I would say a good 75%. But when we get to Evil Dies Tonight, that's where I just think go off a cliff and just I could have just fell asleep at that point. And the point when what happened? When Lindsay's character, she was, everyone else in the car died. Like my mind still goes to poor girl who got away, you were gone, sis, and you came back and you shot yourself in the head. I was like, why?
With
but the whole that whole scene where Lindsay got away, she was hiding, and then they came back to look for her, and she was like beat up or whatever happened. We never was there like just a cut we didn't get to see. Like, did he find her? That's why I was also like the rest of the movie. I was just like, wait, what happened to Lindsay? Like, why are we going to the hospital with Lindsay? What happened? And then that's when we got the Evil Dies Tonight, and they were looking for a guy who was like 5 feet shorter than Michael. But like, I was just like, okay, so now we just throwing stuff together. And then Jamie Lee Curtis was just not in it at all, really, besides her couple scenes in the hospital. It was the only thing that saved it was the kills. That's about, the kills really saved it.
And the flashback.
Oh yeah, and the flashback. The opening was amazing because they got me. I was like, wait, I thought Loomis was dead.
Yeah.
How did they get this guy? I was like, okay, you know what? I'm not stupid. What they did was they took some scenes from 78 that they didn't use and they just clipped it over. No, they had a whole man who actually looked like him, and they put a couple prosthetics on, and it worked. And I'm just like, you know what? They got me, because I thought that was really legitly from 78. Like, they took that from then, but no. So kudos to them. Yeah. And shout out to Lil Jon and Big John. They gave me some chuckles. They were my favorite people.
Oh yeah, they were. I love Big John.
Big John and Lil Jon.
Your turn, Donnie.
So I kind of concur with most of that. The fact that like what she was saying about come on, like we never seen Michael without the mask, but we have to know that this guy is not who we're looking for. Like, that I didn't particularly care for, but I feel like whenever there's a trilogy, there's always that stepping stone movie. Like in Star Wars, it was A New Hope, because I dare somebody to say it was Empire Strikes Back. Like, but there's like that stepping stone movie to get to where you're going to get to Return of the Jedi. You know what I mean? I felt like this was that between 18 and getting to the end of it. Where, like you said, some of it just like what's happening? Like, they're just wandering around the town. Everybody's just gonna just find this guy and just jump him, and that's okay. Like that's fine. But the aesthetic, I like the kills. I like there's a progression. That's the first time we've seen Michael like get his ass whooped. Like,
yeah.
It was one of those things.
Oh, we lost Brittany. Sheeps in the shadows.
I was about to ask you, did he get her? I think that what I really enjoyed, like you said, the flashback. I had a similar feeling. I was like, what's happening? Like, is this happening for real? And they even used they had like the granulation kind of effect on the camera. It looked like it was filmed in the 70s. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't like Lori being laid up, so I kind of agree with Brittany. Like, if it's on TV, I'll sit and I'll watch the kills, and then the second it cuts back to the hospital, all right, what else is on? Ain't the game on?
For me, when it comes to Halloween Kills, the flashback scene to me is always gonna be. I love the flashback scene, the way it looked, the way it felt. It really brought you back to 78, which I really loved. I enjoyed all the kills in it. I do like how Michael was very brutal in this one. How he came out of the fire, all that stuff. Coming back to Laura in the hospital, everything else. I mean, I didn't really care for those either. I mean, the whole hospital scene, I think, was just trying to take it too much. But again, you had to know what she was doing, what she was talking about. There's the back and forth. Hey, Michael's out there. Well, go get him, Tommy. Go get him, Tommy. I'm gonna get him for you because 40 years ago you protected me. Now I'm gonna protect you. It's like, okay, it's like, how many times are you gonna tell us it's been 40 years? I mean, that's kind of like my biggest complaint. And then, of course, and then when he kept saying like "evil dies tonight," and then that's been like a meme everywhere. Pumpkin pies tonight. Every little thing. It's like, wow.
We had to have a meme for this movie, and that was it.
It was, but it's just like. But again, when it came to the look of Michael, the way Michael was killing, basically nothing could stop Michael. He was just going through everybody to get back home. And when it got to the Big John, Little John scene, I do love Big John and Little John. I mean, those two are funny together. Especially I just like he's over there smoking weed. He's like, goblin to get you if you don't watch out. He's all dancing, and he gets scared by Little John. And then it was always funny too because when they found out Michael's in the house, and Little John's like, someone's in our house. It's not a child. And then Big John gets the little knife, and the Little John gets the big knife. It's like, okay, I think we know which one has a bigger knife.
I kind of figured that based off the names because I was just like, Little John is tall and Big John is short. So, but yeah, they.
To be fair, there's always that fat guy whose nickname is Tiny. Like,
I actually have a cousin named Tiny.
like, see what I mean? Like, there's that.
And they're not tiny, so it's kind of ironic, but yeah.
Yeah. Got Kirsten chat says, "Hey everyone, how's it going, Kirsten?"
Hey,
Also got
Kirsten.
Says, "Hey everyone, hey Donnie."
Hey.
But yeah, I said those two. I mean, I really enjoyed it, and then I just like it too, where Michael, kills Big John, and then Little John sees Michael, and then I just love that scene where he stands up and says, "Michael,
come home."
And then it's like Michael just turns around like, "Yeah, I did come home. Now you're in my house. Get out of here." And he kills him, and he puts them together from the picture they had. It was like,
it was opposite. It was opposite from the picture.
And that's how he's not like crazy. He's insane because he's a murderer, but he's not insane like stupid. What I mean? Like he knows what he's doing, and it always made me wonder, like, because it's always him going back to the house. It always makes me wonder, does he ever get there and just like, what the hell did they do to my kid? Like,
yeah,
look at this.
But Big John and Little John look like they probably have really nice interior design done. So Michael probably went in there and was like, this is better than the last one. This is better than the last one.
Yeah. It's been 40 years, yeah.
He's like, where's the broken window at? Where's that dog I was saving from the 40 years?
All that blood on the floor.
It's like my sister's room is completely changed. Like her table was here.
So what do you think is what is the reason? Like, why does he just constantly go back, kill everybody in the path just to go stare out the window?
See, now when it comes to Halloween, this new trilogy, just like the whole radio tower situation where they had to put in kills, and then it's like they're hinting about radio tower being something, and when you get to Halloween ends, the only thing they show the radio tower is on fire. That's all they show. Okay, well, that was kind of a big waste. Well, then we get to, but Michael Myers is always going home. To me personally, it's because it's something he's familiar with. Again, it's like he's got the mind of a kid. If say you go out, right, and you say you do something bad, what are you gonna do? You're gonna run home, right? Oh crap, I did something bad, and I break it home. So I think that's where majority of what it is because he's so familiar with his house and his home. And that's childhood home. He hasn't been there, in like what, 15, 16 years before. Then 40 years later, so he's not real. So that's something he has to go back to. And again, they never really touched on. I mean, I guess they did in a way where he's always looking out the window. But again, as Hawkins said, he's looking at himself. He's looking at reflection. Seeing, looking what's right back at him. When we look in the mirror, we see ourselves, right? So maybe Michael, he sees something above himself, or some of that nature. I think. I mean, I'm just kind of guessing right now, but that's why I kind of think. But again, it's always like the kid in all of us, that we always want to go home. We always want to go home. After every long day, whatever, we're out and about, whatever. Even though sometimes like you used to, what is it like? you guys ever, feel that feeling where, you go stay a night at somebody's house, like your friend's house, but later on you're like, I just want to go home. I just want to go home, right?
Yeah.
You ever
I've had that a couple times.
Yeah, so in a way, that's kind of how Michael is. He's like, I've been locked up for pretty much 40 years. I just want to go home. So I'm gonna go and look at a little killing spree. I'm gonna make sure I get back home.
Just a little killing spree. Not a little. I mean, he dropped bodies.
Not in that particular movie. Yeah, like, but I understand. I never really heard like anybody like say it that way. So that makes sense, because I felt there's nothing more comfortable than being like at your house in your own surroundings and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like I'm at like a hotel or something when I go to see a concert. I'm like, dude, get me back to the house, bro. Like,
I definitely feel more comfortable being at home in my own bed. It's more relaxing.
Yeah, like you feel like you could do on your own stuff versus being, on somebody else's stuff. And maybe Michael is just like the asylum beds are just uncomfortable, bro. I want my own.
He's like
I want my own bed, but hey, there's this nice bed in my sister's room. I want to go sleep in that one.
Mm-hmm. I just always figure him staring like it's still, although he's a grown man now, he's still seeing the little boy who was once there. Yeah. So I think, kind of how Rob Zombie tried to show us, like there's two Michaels. There's the one who's still the little boy Michael, but then there's the murderous Michael who goes out there and he kills for just, shits and giggles, basically. I don't know. I don't know if he's laughing behind the mask, but I feel like he is. There's just a little chuckle with every stab, and he just like, and then goes home.
A little sly smile.
A little sly smile.
And that like that's what I'm saying. And therein lies the duality too of the fact that he's like he's almost like a machine when he's doing that, and then like he's just very regressed, just looking out the window, just kind of like you said, back in like that childhood state when he's just looking out the window. But then, like I said, think about how like the I'm not sure what the proper term is, but like when he was in the car, and the guy's choking him with the stethoscope, and he just had that reaction of just like, do you know who I am? Like, he just had that moment. The lady is shooting Desert Eagle, and he just just kicks the door. So he's definitely smarter than I think what they give him credit for.
Yeah, he is.
And then all that kind of regresses back to, just a child looking out the window. Please don't bother me. I won't bother you. Like
he's just a child looking for his purpose in life. And no matter how many bodies along the way he has to kill, he'll figure it out.
But the thing is, also too, if you want to look at like like animals, right? Like predators, right? They all, they go for the hunt, right? They're on the hunt. But where they go back to the den. Go back to their house. Like wolves, right? They go back to where they're like a little thing, right? Same thing with Michael. He's Michael's a predator. He's stalking people. He's killing people. But once he's done killing, he goes home. Basically, that's where he lives. That's where he's comfortable at. And that's why he just goes out, does his killing, and then he goes right back home.
Yeah.
Same thing with 78. He was in his house. He left. Then he went back, ate a dog. Then he said, "Okay, I gotta go do some more killing." Walked out. Did his little terrorizing. And almost got Lori. He got shot at the balcony. And then what he did? He basically went home. Didn't go nowhere else. He's like, "Hey, I got shot. I'm kind of wounded. I need to go back home for a second. Get recuperated." And he goes right home. Looks out the window, kind of gets charged up. All right, time to go back out, but he got caught.
So do you think he's on some? I'm sorry.
I know you go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you think that he's on some like Rambo level shit then, and like taking the bullets out himself? Like,
possibly.
He's been shot quite a few times, and that was one of the things that I felt like people didn't understand about Ends. It's like, oh, well, he should have still been this dominant monster and all this. He was in the sewer. That stuff got infected. Like, all of those stab wounds and gunshot wounds. I don't understand why people didn't understand. He's not Wolverine.
Yeah. Yeah, when I see that, yeah, you know, through getting all the stuff that happened to 18 and in kills, getting all them shots, you know, especially stabbed in the back of the neck and everything else, and freaking pitchforks in his back, all this stuff, right? And he just go, you know, he just walks away, goes in the sewer, lives in the sewer. Yeah, all that stuff is going to get affected, and that's the thing that we they portray it, you know, as you know, Michael. I mean, again, John Carpenter, you know, stated that, you know, Michael Myers is, you know, he is, you know, on that borderline between, you know, human and supernatural. They kind of, but then, you know, David Green said, no, he's just a human. He's just a man that can do, you know, above and beyond what a normal man can do. So in a way, you're saying that he's a little bit supernatural. But then when you get to Halloween Ends, it gets to the point where, okay, well, he's basically wounded and everything's kind of affected, but he's still kind of kicking. You know, but then of course, you know, but again, then they're throwing other things at you too about the, you know, the transfer of evil. You know, Michael Myers, every time he kills, he gets a power boost. You know, they kind of, you know, hints that, you know, in Halloween Kills. So again, it kind of, in a way, what Michael truly is kind of like all over the place. So where is he supernatural? Is he human? Is he this? Is he that? You know, so you kind of don't really know what Michael Myers even is. Is he human? Is he supernatural? What is he? Is he the boogeyman? What is he?
Yeah, it's elusive.
Yeah. Was I really glad that we did get the flashback though to 78 in this one, because I did wonder, like, where did he go if we just took out Halloween 2 and, you know, we were jumping from this one from 78, like, where did he go? So I'm glad we got to see that conclusion to, you know, Hawkins had told us in 2018 that he was the reason that, you know, Michael didn't get killed that night, that they just put him away. And then I'm glad we saw what happened. And Hawkins shot his partner, and they kind of covered it up. And that felt a little bit like, you know, what police do. Like,
shot himself.
You legitly shot your partner.
No, his partner shot himself.
He couldn't take it anymore. He was done with the force. Like,
I guess that's what we saw. I mean, that's what they told us we saw, I guess. I mean, who am I to lie? Who am I to go against what they wrote down in their police report? So let me just stop.
But they did show you Halloween Kills why Hawkins is such a bad shot. He was a bad shot when he was first on the force, and he's still a bad shot now.
About that too, like Michael just. I love when everybody says freeze to him, he just hits them with the and like it just dips like
with the, okay, I'm a turn.
Yeah, deuces. Like and the way that Hawkins is shooting, I don't know if have you ever seen A Million Ways to Die in the West? Like,
yeah.
Do you remember when Seth MacFarlane was practicing shooting and like he walked up on those cans? He was right here and was still missing like that. Yeah. That's how Hawkins shoots.
That was funny.
Oh boy, we got the Hellmaster in the chat.
Hey,
Mr. Helvington, how the hell are you? Doing pretty good, Helvington. But yeah, I mean, it was just it's funny because he's like he shoots his partner in the neck. And then Michael's walking. He's like shoot Michael, and he's just. You see Michael's walking downstairs, dodging bullets.
I was thinking, like, why wouldn't you just? He's walking so slow, and every time you shoot, you're like missing him by a step. Why not shoot? You know, ahead of him, shoot in front of him. That way, by the time you shoot, he'll be walking down, and that bullet will land. But no,
just like an 18. When he was shooting that gun, he has eyes closed. He's like, Michael, freeze. He's like, close his eyes when he's shooting.
Yeah.
He seemed like this was not the job for him. Like this was something that he just decided to do.
Target practice wasn't mandatory.
Obviously.
Yeah. Michael's just like, oh, that's Hawkins. That's the dude from 40 years ago. I know I'm not in any danger. And he just keeps walking.
He probably saw Hawkins and was like, it's you. You're the one who missed me like a bunch of times. Didn't you shoot your partner? You shot your. He's like, thank you for that easy kill. Like I had him, but you took him. So,
no, I think Michael's pissed about that because you see it. Because what he got shot in the neck, he's like, damn it. Because you can see it. Because usually you see Michael, right? He's trying to hide behind the partner, right? And once Hawk is shot in the neck, this is Michael. He's like this, and he just walks away. He's like, "Damn it!"
And he hit him with the.
This is like Michael versus Hawkins, like Freddy versus Jason, but Michael versus Hawkins. Like Michael's in the middle of killing him, and here comes Hawkins taking away the kill.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then we get to Tommy Doyle, right? Played by Anthony Michael Hall, right?
I just know him as the guy from The Breakfast Club and 16 Candles.
Yeah. But you get to his character now. There's been a lot of debate, I had, in the, past streams a while ago about his character being too over the top, too Mr. Macho Man, oh, evil dies tonight, I'm going to take Michael, I'm going to swing away, say night, 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 night. Now, when it comes to
trying to kill me, man.
when it comes to his character, right? I can actually kind of see that him being that kind of persona in a way, because if you witness something when you're a kid that kind of tragic, the boogeyman was about to kill you, right? Yep. And you're witnessing something like that, and you're growing up, you're going to want to be like, okay, I'm going to be a grown ass man. And then when the boogeyman comes, I'm going to be like, say night night. I'm going to knock him out. I'm going to kill Michael Myers. You're going to have that persona of yourself as this big, huge guy can take on the world. And I can kind of see his portrayal of Tommy Doyle being that way over time. I mean, I think Paul Rudd did an awesome job too of having, but kind of the opposite to where Tommy was more, involved with Michael, kind of that paranoia, that, little kid looking out his window, at naked women.
I forgot about that.
So I kind of see his portrayal, but I think in a way he kind of went just way too over the top for that one. He kind of went way over the top. Like Robert Downey Jr. right in Tropic Thunder. He said you went full. That's kind of you went full. Macho Man. But you went too.
I love that movie so much. It's sad.
Tropic Thunder.
But he literally led the whole town. It's like, he said, we're strengthening numbers. You go that way, we'll go this way. You go over there. And when you find them, call us. We'll be together. And they all went separately. And most half the time when they went separately, they all died.
Yeah, I was just wondering, like, where did the other cars go? Because they never really showed, like, anyone else that was with Tommy, going to different parts, finding any bodies, actually seeing Michael. We just see their group when they get to the park. And I'm just like, dang it. I want to see, like, the other groups maybe run into Michael and Michael killed all of them, or, they run up on a whole bunch of different bodies that Michael then piled up, call them over, leading the way to the house. I felt like that would have been a smart way to figure out where he was going.
Yeah.
You said they didn't show where the other people went. Shit, if they were smart, they got on the highway.
Yeah, they're like, oh yeah, we'll help. We'll definitely help. Now, how far is the next state over?
Yeah. I'm out.
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, in a way, he was there. He was there where the mom was beating up Michael. But it was funny because he said all this stuff, and then pretty much the mom is doing the beating.
And he's
the mom is doing the beating. At the end, he's like, "Hey, I got you, Michael. We got this.
We got you. Yeah.
It's like, no.
Put your daughter. It's like, wow, man. And then, of course, when Michael Myers got up and started slaughtering all of them, then he's like, he just stands there like, wiping blood off his face. You're like, oh my God, what am I seeing? And then he's like, all right, I'm going to take Michael up with that big old wide swing, leave himself wide open. Michael's like, all right, hang on. Let me, all right. I got you.
Now I would have came across the face with the bat. Like, don't, you cross the right here. That way, like, you're good. But no, he didn't do that.
If we're doing all of that to somebody, if we're jumping somebody, and then this person gets up, right, and they're just looking like, what's good? I'm executing dip procedures. Okay, I'm out. Like, I'm gone. Like this, I'm sorry. Hey, look, I'm looking at everybody like, hey, this is something we should have never attempted. Gone. Like, my name is Barry Allen. Like, it's over.
I would have showed up, got a few licks in. It was like, okay, y'all can finish this. Y'all, once he's down, it's like, okay, y'all got this. Okay, I'm gone. Like he's down now. I just got my licks in and bounced out.
And the fact that they were just so confident that, like, you know what, he's down, we got him, and then they just kept hesitating and like decapitating him or something. Just be done.
Yeah, I would have been Karen and just walked away. Like she did what she was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And she just walked away. Well, I'm not gonna say at the end because I would have not went back in that house, especially after you thought you saw him or the little boy or whatever. I'm like, whose little kid is that? Someone should go check and see if whose little kid is that up there. There's a little kid, not me, but there's a little kid up there somewhere.
But when she left though, she did kind of have, he was like, go, we got it from here, and she was like, cool, because I didn't sign up for none of this anyway. Like, I did what I was supposed to do. Like, I'm off the clock.
Well, I mean, she did get the final blow to Michael right in the back of his neck with that knife.
Yeah.
When poor Michael was reaching, was with his 3 little fingers trying to reach.
They really built that up too. They really, like, for somebody who didn't know that there was going to be another one after that, they probably really felt like, oh, he's really about to die. And but all of us are sitting there like,
yeah,
we know this is not it.
But I just love it though, where that bracket, he comes right behind Michael, about to pull that trigger, and Michael Myers like, swoop, like just like pull that knife right out of the back of his back, man, fucking turn around and slit his throat. It's like,
it happened so quick.
But what I want to know is, how far was he bending over to point at Michael? Because there was no way that Michael's arm like stretched out like that far to slice his neck.
Well, she was also kind of short too.
But still, it was a good, it was a good length. Because if when Michael was laying down, right? He's laying down when he pulled that knife out and then kind of did this, he was still on his side. And he only he only lifted up a little bit to get that swing in. And Brackett was like,
yeah, Brackett probably got down on a knee, got real close, trying to, do that final headshot, but took too long. Took too long to do that.
You can't be getting all close trying to talk your ish like all close like that. If you don't know if they're knocked out, you can't be doing that.
Now, see, if Dr. Loomis was still there, he would tell him, hey, get your ass away from that.
Because we haven't got a police force.
Well, just like in Halloween 2, where the cop, the escort, the cop that was supposed to take Loomis like, hey, turn around, we're going back to the hospital.
Yeah.
Remember, he's checking the pulse. He's like, get away from him. He's dead. You don't got a pulse. And Michael Myers just sprung up, slit his throat. I was like,
yeah. And Loomis was standing there, kind of like, dumbass. Like you could just
see and shout out to all the costumes that they went out there to fight Michael in. Some of them looked like they were not comfortable to be in a riot. Like the guy was it a tiger or a tiger costume? It just didn't look like it was. It was cute for whatever he was out doing, but it did not look like riot attire.
Yeah. Well, hey, you had tiger. You had
the Iron Lady.
Iron Lady. Yeah, she was holding the iron. I'm like, and then you got the Power Ranger lady, the one that's got that mean mugging look. Like, get your Michael.
That's and then they really and they took that time to show you like all these people. They're just like, we're just fed up with this. Now we know. I don't know how none of them didn't think, oh, this is a trap or something has to be up with this. Because if it's me, you come knocking on the door. I'm like, oh, y'all got him? What the hell you need me for then?
Yeah. Oh boy, we got the main man, the Night Watch Zone.
Ooh,
Loomis is great. Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, that whole mob scene is probably like one of my favorite scenes because I do like it where Michael's mask is on the ground for that trap, right? And he like walks up to. I mean, you see him. He don't even pick it up He's gonna run up there and just her pick it up, put it on, right? He
Right.
walks over it and just stands there. And the lights come on. He looks down at it. And he's like, and you think Brack is like, "Hey, Michael, it's Halloween. Everyone's out one good scare." And then Michael's like, "All right." And then music cues, and he picks it up, puts it on, and he's like looking back and forth. He's like, "All right, who's first?"
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm gonna let y'all get y'all good swings in. I know I've been like, terrorizing this city. I'm gonna let y'all get it off y'all chest real good. Let's just air it out. Let's just air it out right here, right now. And then after they aired it out, he aired all them out, and that's just how it went. No one left to tell the tale.
But Michael was doing some John Wick shit when he was like killing everybody. He caught the one guy's arm, guy, and then he got the one guy's leg.
Like two quick ones, like.
I was like, when did Michael take the John Wick class up in here? Like, is that like you sign up for that? Because he was definitely with some skills.
Well, just like with the girl with the gun. I mean, she's like okay, she is shoot with both. Okay, in my opinion, a gun like that and the size of her, it would have been like ricocheting. She was holding like this.
She had a desi.
Yeah, she said she was trained though. She was like she knew how to do it. The husband didn't, and she was like, "Well, give it to me." And she knew how to use it.
That was one of the big. What was a Desert Eagle?
That's a Desert Eagle. Yeah, he's right though. Shape is right because the kickback on that. I don't care how well you think you're holding. The kickback, you're gonna still jerk. Shooting that thing.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, she was gone. She should have just stayed gone. I would have not came back. Husband, no husband. Hey.
But then when she's having both hands shoot, and then she pulls that one handed, and Michael's like, "Pow!" Kicks that door, and she's like
I called it. I knew it was gonna happen.
So, do y'all feel like that he was just kind of like playing with the townspeople? Like, I feel like what he did with them, he wouldn't do that with Lori. She's blown my fingers off. Like, this is serious, But the lady coming up with the gun, he was just like, I know it's a very powerful gun, but here, get this super kick real quick. Like, you know what I mean? It's like he didn't take it seriously.
No, I think he really was just playing with them, and the whole car murder was kind of funny to me. I was just like calling all
because nobody got out and ran. Like,
yeah, no one, not even And then Marion was like, "Sis, you doing the same moves you pulled the last time," and he pulled you right out that car. Like, let's come up with some new routine. Like, you trying to shoot them, and then the gun went out. You don't have no more bullets, and then dude in the back seat. I don't know why he didn't run.
He stabbed my man right in the eyeball.
That was a gruesome kill.
I could not believe that when I was watching that. What's in the movie? I can't remember. Did they called back to the 78? Did he slap his hand on the mirror and like shatter it like he did in the not the mirror, the window, like he did?
Yeah.
They did that call where he smashed the window. He basically smashed the window, then he grabbed her hair and kind of pulled her head out.
Yeah,
but he let go. Then of course she's just firing, shooting randomly. It's like the gun you have only holds 6 bullets. You just shot 6 shots, and then Michael right there is like, "Hey, Michael, this is for Dr. Loomis." Ooh, Michael's like, you see Michael, he's like bending over like this. He's like,
"Did you not count?"
Even he has that like I could have counted to 6. Like
it's like 6 bullets.
it's like in Django. You guys remember when Samuel Jackson was like, I counted 6 shots, and he was like, well, I count 2 guns. Like, what you mean? Like,
but see, I just don't get that because in again in those scenarios, right? I would not be just shooting at random things.
No, I agree.
I'll be holding on them bullets until I get a clear shot of you. Until you're in my direct line of sight, and then I'm gonna be pulling the trigger. Not just wasting bullets on the mask.
I'll shoot 1 or 2.
The windows. even the guy, even the nurse in the back was like, "Hey, Barry, watch it."
Yeah.
And then what was her name? Poor Lindsay. She's out there collecting bricks in a bag. I was like, "Girl, what are you doing? Let's run!" Like. I don't see why most people just did not run from the situations. Oh, and the poor kids, they were all those kids should have got. if I was Lindsay, I wouldn't have told them kids nothing because they kind of deserved it just a little bit. They were out there pranking all night. I mean, they got one kid. First of all, the kids were horrible.
No, they weren't that bad.
They were bad. They were bad. They were stealing candy. They were stealing candy. That ruins the whole trick-or-treating tradition. Like, I hated those kids that, you know, Bucket says take one. They grab like 3-4 hands full. I'm like, no, like, you know, there's gonna be other kids coming back. Why ruin the fun? They were some bad, but I bet you this time next year, next Halloween, they'll be a little bit more behaved, you know.
And next year, now that I've learned, I'm just gonna give their ass some apples.
No, because remember that's what the whole thing was, that they got an apple or something that had a razor in it, and that's how they were able to get the candy from Big John and Little John. They gets nothing from my house. I'm like, oh no, you the little kids. I heard about y'all. Like,
I recognize
get off my step. Y'all get on off my step with that.
One thing we haven't talked about Shape. Obviously, this is your thing. I didn't know, were we supposed to be talking about the movie in chronological order, or are we just talking about favorite scenes? Or
when we talk, we pretty much talk about when we talk about, you know, we talk about the whole movie by itself. You know, I mean, we can go like our favorite scenes. We just kind of go like all over the place in a way.
Yeah, okay. A little bit just scattered.
Okay, because I was gonna say the the one thing we're just talking about, like just the brutality of the different kills and stuff. The one thing that caught me off guard, I think, was when he was in the house.
His old house.
No. When what's Sandra's husband's name? I'm not sure what his name was, but he had like the remote control like plane or whatever it was, you know. And
he's about the couple that lived next door to Lori.
Yeah.
The lady was actually
she was the caretaker at the
cemetery.
The cemetery. Yeah. And he that's what I'm saying. I tried to point that out. I was like, you guys remember in like 2018 when he was like peeking behind that tree and he saw her, like that put her on his list then, you know?
Yeah. Almost everyone he came in contact with or saw in 2018, he saw again that same night and took them out. Like, I was like, well, we found out that, you know, in the end, so he actually didn't kill the lady, but dang, he shoved one of those lights in her throat.
I have a problem with that. Like, she should have died. The amount of blood she lost is ridiculous. So,
yeah.
But what I was gonna ask you, Shape, is why did he punch the light out? It's like we know it's you. Like we are afraid. So what did he punch the light out for?
Oh, well, to me, I think when he punched the light out is because he's in there in the dark, like doing this thing, right? And then she had the little drone, and then, you know, Michael, you know, threw it out. Like, what the hell was that? You know, they go in there, you know, he flipped the light on. Michael's like, damn it, you know, Jesus. I mean, or maybe, you know, I don't know, but I don't know why he actually hit the light. But he probably startled him too. You know, you walk up there, put the light on, you're like, damn it. You know, when you see the light, right? You know, you're in a dark place and the light comes on, you're like, man, the light's kind of bright. You know, but when you first wake up in the morning too, right? You're like, yeah. Maybe that's what happened to Michael. Maybe he's like, the light came on, I was like, damn it, you know, turn this light off. Yeah. Then he goes, but you get that also, he's like, it's a man in a monster mask. Now, I wish he had a little bit more of a part in Halloween Kills, because I actually know him as Teddy in the show Rescue Me with Dennis Leary. That was out, you know, years ago with it's called Rescue. Yeah, Rescue's on FX. He was
where he's from.
Yeah, that's what he's from.
I kept on saying he looks familiar. I just couldn't place his face, and I was just like, I just kind of got over it. But now, okay, Rescue Me. Okay, that's where he's from. Okay,
he is funny in Rescue Me, and I wish he had a little more of a part. But it's like, man, you got killed brutally. You got your head bashed. Then you got a glass went through your throat. Then you got drugged. And then you got flipped on top of the table. And then you got stabbed by different knives. So Michael Myers found the right one he wanted.
Was he looking for the right knife, or was he looking for one that he could hold, like, minus his fingers? So he was trying to.
Yeah, I think he was testing the grip out and, you know, seeing which knife best fit them two fingers.
But the thing is, Michael was stabbing him with his right hand, because you see Michael, he's actually holding his blown off hand, on the side because he's holding like this, and he's grabbing each knife and stabbing with his right hand, and then he stops and looks at it. He's like, then he grabs another one, he stabs him again, and he's like,
don't like that one.
Okay, and then you see him grab the other one. He's like, okay, here we go, and then he just walks off. But that's gotta be really messed up that your loved one, so basically you're out there bleeding to death, basically helpless, can't do nothing. You're actually watching this man, either kill your husband or kill your wife. There's nothing you can do about it. You're just going.
That's part of what made it so disturbing. And when he took I can't remember what those lights are called. I have one in my kitchen right now.
Fluorescent lights.
The fluorescent lights that look like lightsabers. And I can say after I saw that movie, I considered taking that out because I was like, I don't need.
No, you keep that in case an intruder comes in. Weapon. It's a weapon now.
So anyway, the fact he took it and he just like broke it, and she's there and she's like cowering, and the fact that he was so like premeditated with it and just stabbed her, that I remember like when we saw Kills and Ends, my friend Sam came over and we watched it right here on my Xbox. And I can just remember just those audible reactions of me and him. Of course, it wasn't in a theater, but the two of us sitting there, and I just remember him being like, "Oh my God!" Like and I just he normally doesn't react like that to stuff, but we just could not believe like the viciousness of how he was killing in that particular thing. Nothing like it. You know what I mean? I think that's why a lot of people like the firefighter thing. But I think some of those more like individual kills to me are far more brutal than like a group.
And that firefighter scene got me because my thing was no one else is coming out that house. That means whoever they pulled out took out all them other firefighters. Then y'all see this man walk out of a burning building.
And they stayed there.
And they just stayed there like, wait a minute. And then they all was like, okay. And then my thing was to do with the fire hose. Like, sir, your job is to hold the fire hose. I don't know what you thought that was going to accomplish. But this
the thing is, those fire hoses have amounts of pressure.
Yes, but he was still just walking. He just was. And he stood there. I was like, no, I would have just dropped the hose and ran. Like, job's done.
Michael's taking everybody on that, man. That firefighter thing is also it's an epic scene because you got Michael walking out of the damn fire, right, sitting around the front of the porch, house burned down, and he picks up the handgun too. He's like, all right, let's get to work. And he goes down, he's walking through that thing, he stabs one guy in the face, then he's like hitting the one guy, and he picks the one up after he just got the axe in his back. He's like, what, really? So I'm gonna show you how to use this real good. Picking him up. Drops it, and they got the one. But see, here we go, right? The Saul thing, right? A buddy of mine, he actually said that would not have actually happened. To where Michael, how basically cuts the guy's neck with that saw, whatever.
None of this would have actually happened.
No, he said that basically like the blood would not squirt out the way it did. He said that's like a thing where it cuts through metal and stuff to get through. To save people's lives, whatever. He said they would not have done like the blood splatter like it was. It was like basically it was keep everything intact and like just cut right through you. I'm like, man, really? Yeah. And I told him, I was like, dude, it's a movie. Shut up.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing I can't stand too. Because we went on a double date and we went to see Kills, and of course we're watching the movie, right? I'm zoned in, right? Music playing, we got the opening theme. I'm like right into it, got everything, and then I hear them two talking. They're right next to me, they're talking, and then all I see is a corner of my both him and his wife doing this, just looking at me, and I'm like, and this time I'm actually getting distracted from the movie because I'm like, why are you guys looking at me? And I was like, what? They're like, oh, nothing. We're seeing how tricked you are in the movie. I was like, yes, this is my favorite movie. So this is one I want to come see. Stop it. I'm trying to watch the movie.
You're talking and I can hear you.
But I told because they came with us to go see Halloween Ends. And I told them, hey, I'm going to tell you guys right now, don't fuck up this movie. All right. No, don't be looking at me. Don't be doing nothing. I said, if you guys want to do that, you guys will sit behind us. We'll get separate seats. We'll sit behind us. all sit all together. Don't do nothing to distract me from this movie. And they didn't.
No.
I was
My mom does that. Dude. My mom, hey, watch this part. Watch this part. I'm like, what the hell was I doing?
No, my mom's the one who
Like-
asks questions the whole time through. Like, who's that? Were they in the last one? I'm like, because if we watch this one, I guarantee you'll get your question. I guarantee you'll get the answer to that question. If we just watch this one that I haven't even seen yet.
my grandma does that. My grandma's like, what happens next? Like, who's that guy? Who's that girl?
Yeah.
What is he doing? I'm like, Grandma, just watch the movie. Well, I still want to know. If you watch, you'll know. I just want to know.
It's like at the end we'll have a Q&A and you can ask me whatever it is you want to ask me, but just let me watch this so I can at least understand.
But yeah, then she goes like, wait, hey, isn't that guy that was in that movie that was out last year?
Which movie? Which movie?
I need more information.
It's like guy movie from last year. I think I got it.
No, because I mean, I'll be sitting there and it's the same thing. My mom wanted to go see Fast and Furious 300, and now don't get me wrong, I'm a Jason Momoa fan, so I watch everything that he's in. He's very entertaining, and but same thing. She's asking, yo, who is this guy? Like, what are they doing? I'm like, so I told her, I was like, so I'm watching this with you at the same time. So there's nothing that I know that you don't also know. Like, I haven't figured out anything that you don't know. There's Jason Momoa, there's Big Ass Bomb. I'm gonna guess it's gonna blow up because that's what bombs do. I don't know, Mom. Like,
it's like the most information I can give you is that the Jason Momoa's character is from like 5 movies ago. That's all I can tell you. Like, his character started 5 movies ago with his dad. And all I can let you know right now.
And he fell into the ocean and didn't die. Yes. And I just that kind of like crosses over to like the Halloween thing. I hate the retconning stuff so much because I'm a superhero guy. Like, I love superhero movies. So I hate when, like, in superhero movies, they go back and no, actually, this is what happened. Actually, Gorilla Grodd was standing there the whole time and the Flash never saw him. No, he wasn't. We saw that whole background. There was not a big ass gorilla standing there. We saw the whole movie. Stop it. Like, and Halloween does it, and Fast and Furious is doing it. I just can't stand that. Like,
yeah, Fast and Furious made me so mad. Han died.
Han did die.
He died. We would have never had Tokyo Drift if not for Han. I was just like, okay, listen. But like, this is frustrating me. I was like, the whole reason.
How come everybody who's like, I'm sorry, we just like hijacked your.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh yeah.
We do this all the time. We do this.
I was just thinking. I was telling my mom this because I was like, I don't know if I want to go see this movie, and she was like, why not? I was like, because Jason Momoa is the bad guy. I was like, every time there's a new bad guy, by the end of the movie, they then join their team.
Thank you.
And the next movie, that person then comes to help them fighting the new bad guy. And I'm like, I just like,
The Rock.
Last time it was The Rock was totally against them. Now he's part of the team. Then Cena, and now Cena's part of the team.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason Statham too. He was a bad guy.
Yes.
He killed Han. Like,
and he tried to kill Paul Walker. And it's like he first of all, he tried to kill all y'all, but now he's just a part of the group. The Rock tried to arrest all y'all, put y'all back in prison, but he's just a part of the group now. And then it's like, it's okay. He's like, oh, although I'm law enforcement, I'm just gonna turn a blind eye to what they're doing. It's like, no, sir, you're law enforcement. You can't be a part of a rogue team and be in law enforcement at the same time. It's two separate.
You know why, right?
You want to fill out the paperwork.
You know why they all joined Dom? Because of the power of family.
Oh, there's a family.
Family power. Them family dinners get you every time.
I saw that meme where it's got Laurie Strode in the back of the truck, whatever. It's like, no, Dom, don't. Michael's too powerful. Nothing stronger than family. He's like,
I saw one where like it was from Harry Potter. And it's from the very first Harry Potter, and I'm just a big Harry Potter nerd. And there's all the kids are waiting to get sorted into the houses and stuff. and Professor McGonagall is like, you know, while you're here at Hogwarts, your house will be like your family. And then next to like Ron and Harry is Toretto, like,
Oh man.
I saw a clip though today, and it was well, I forget what her name is. The one who played is it Nettie? Oh, I think is her name something else. What was the girlfriend's name who died, but they brought her back, but her brain was washed? Letty.
Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, I saw a clip and she was like, "Man, I'm just tired of these Marvel movies. When are Marvel gonna stop making more movies? Continuing on from other movies." I was just like, "Sis, y'all are on Fast and Furious 3000. Let's not talk about."
And what's worse is this movie ended on a cliffhanger. There was no resolution, so there's going to be another one, another
3 more. He said he said 3 more. He said there were supposed to be just 2 parts, this one and then a part 2. They're going to add 3. There's going to be this part, the next part, and then 1 more.
And that's what I'm saying. The second one is going to be like filler going to the third one.
Yes, it's going to be another cliffhanger, another big cliffhanger.
So we're going to have Fast and Furious 13.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, yeah.
I think this would be like the longest running franchise ever.
He said, did you hear him whisper? He said, "Jesus Christ."
Okay. For me, when it came to Fast and Furious, to me, it was when Paul Walker died. This last film, that to me was the last one. They should have ended it off right there to where you had Dom and you had Paul Walker, his character, and they both drive and they had that play that beautiful song, and they're both driving, and he got there. He's like, no matter what, you always be my brother. And then they go their separate ways. And said, "Mary Paul Walker, it should have been done. No more Fast and Furious. That should have been the end of the Fast and Furious." In my opinion,
cry.
You had 5 movies or 6 movies, whatever, and you had a beautiful, beautiful ending. Mm-hmm. And it was, of course, Paul Walker died, and you had a beautiful send off for him. And like I said, that was a beautiful ending. You should just end it right there. Done. Nope. We gotta bring John Cena in. We gotta bring Jason Momoa in. We gotta bring Jason Statham in. We gotta bring The Rock in. We gotta bring everybody else in. Oh, who's next? Are they gonna bring Jean-Claude Van Damme in? They're gonna bring Chuck Norris.
They made spin-offs and everything. There's the movie with The Rock and Jason Statham.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Just complete spin-off of it, and I'm like,
but The Rock could come back though, because I guess him and Vin Diesel don't like each other.
Oh yeah, they got into it like a couple movies ago.
The Rock was in this movie.
He was?
But, I mean, they get into it, but he still comes back. I mean, that check stops nothing. And he, The Rock's being sued for $3 million. So yeah, he kind of needs that.
Does he care?
He probably doesn't care, but I mean, he lost a couple deals, but I probably doubt that he cares.
Do you know what those publishing checks from WWE is looking like? He's good. Yeah. Trust me.
So I'm just like, girl, $3 million. He probably know that he'll cash up you that right now. $3 million, boom, done.
In my opinion, I think The Rock is starting to become overrated.
He does a lot of movies. I feel like
he does a lot of movies, but he plays the same character, the badass character he is. He plays the same character in all his movies, even when he's trying to be funny. I think the only one he actually was pretty good in, by being like a funny person, was Central Intelligence. When it came to Jumanji and those type of movies, he's still in a way the same character, just trying to be funny.
I liked him in Jumanji. That was good casting, Jumanji, for him.
You just hurt my heart. You cut me real deep there, Shrek.
He got the one. he got the one tear, the glory tear going down right now.
I mean, I'm not saying he's my favorite actor or nothing like that. My favorite actor is Al Pacino, but I'm a wrestling fan, so I see him. I think give somebody the people's elbow. You know what I mean? So anytime I get to see The Rock, when
it comes to wrestling, I'm Eddie Guerrero. I'm Eddie Guerrero all the way.
There's nothing wrong with Eddie. There's nothing. There's nothing wrong with Eddie.
He was better than The Rock. He was The Rock before The Rock came in.
He was better than The Rock. Okay.
I would say The Rock put on a good show.
I mean-
Like I can only say the only person to me that might be better than The Rock and putting on a good show would have to either be Cold Stone Steve Austin or
no, absolutely not.
Crap.
Sean.
I still say
I'll say Triple X or Hardy.
Triple H.
Triple H or Hardy, yeah.
Hey,
I love Triple H.
Yeah, I gotta agree with her there. I think Triple H and the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, I think they had a great duo when they were doing G-Generation X.
Yeah.
They doing all that stuff they were doing. I think those two were all freaking awesome and funny when they were doing their stuff together.
Hilarious. And then the 90s stuff like was so edgy and like they were getting letters from USA telling Vince McMahon, hey, you can't have these dudes on TV saying this. And then they took that letter and everything they said they couldn't say, they went right out there and said it on live TV. Like, and then USA was like, well played. Here's another hour. I think. So you're talking about The Rock being overrated. Austin is overrated for sure.
Oh no, I love Cold Stone Steve Austin. He's my
hated
heart.
Stone Cold. The reason the way WWE did it back then, they was like, do you like The Rock? Do you like Austin? You can't like them both because they hate each other. So like,
yeah, and they're both from Texas, so it was like a huge controversy thing because
Rock is from Florida.
Yeah, he's from Florida.
No, but like his whole the whole Texas thing, like it was the whole.
Hawaii.
Wait, what?
Who? I thought The Rock was from
Hawaii.
He was born in Hawaii, but they always say from Miami.
Oh.
Yeah, but I always thought like him and Cold Stone Steve Austin had like the whole rivalry of the Texas thing. Maybe they just been a storyline. Maybe they were just storyline.
They headlined WrestleMania in Texas. Maybe that's what you're thinking about. That's what
I am thinking about.
Vince McMahon came out and he hit The Rock in the head with the chair.
Yeah,
and turned on The Rock to team with Austin. I never forgave him for that. But
that was a good match though.
It was a good match. Like in shape, you got to admit, nobody sold the stunner like The Rock. Like Eddie Guerrero ain't taking no stunners, but Eddie Guerrero had 1 WWE championship. The Rock has 10.
Yeah, but he died. He couldn't get to their championships.
He didn't get that one he had until 2 years before he died.
Still, he could have came out on top, but he didn't. He died.
It broke my heart growing up to find out that none of the things that I like, as you grow up, because I started out younger, like watching wrestling with my papa. So then, as I got maybe like into my teens, that's when I realized that everything I was watching had been fake. Like every storyline, like Ed McMahon did not die and come back 3 times. Like my whole childhood was blown because I was like, oh my God, I really believed all this stuff happened. Now some of the stuff was real. Like some of like the behind the scenes things, like my favorite thing was do you remember the episode where Triple H stole Stephanie McMahon and she was like sleep in the car and they went out on
drive-through.
They went on this date. They went on a date and everything, and they went and got married and all this other stuff, and they redid the wedding in the ring. I was just like, is this real? Like she just fell.
So what happened was they had set her up to marry this dude named Test, and then she had started dating Triple H in real life, and so they were like, let's just put that on TV. And then, but the fact that he took her to a drive-in chapel is hysterical.
It was hilarious. Like to see the back to watch back and them tell us like all the fake stuff and how it went down. I was just like, that's hilarious. Like I thought that was funny.
Those dudes have my respect though, because I think people always say, "Oh well, pro wrestling is fake." And my mom was like that, and we went and saw the WWE live, and we sat about 3 rows from the ring. And when she saw somebody fall off a ladder through a table, she was like, "Yeah, maybe."
Yeah, no, it's like the storyline.
Maybe this shit is real.
Yeah, the storylines are fake. It's just to build drama. But them actually getting in the ring and, that's real. Like they have to train and practice and have the body and, the stamina for all that, getting thrown and getting hit and, getting power, all that stuff.
And they said that when your body gets slammed on the mat, because, under the ring, it's pieces of wood. It's plywood underneath the ring. There is no mat there. And there's just springs. So when you slam, it bounces a little bit, but that's it. They said that when you get slammed on that, it's the equivalent of your body going through a car accident. Like that's how much trauma the body takes off one body slam. And then you're wrestling a 30-minute match. And then do that for 300 days out the year, and you can't take any painkillers. Like,
dang, to be a wrestler.
You know, I still say The Rock and John Cena's like rivalry was kind of funny.
Oh, The Rock and John Cena, that was hilarious.
It was funny. And The Rock won that first match. I was so happy. Like, I was so happy.
Well, I like the back and forth with them where The Rock's like in his like office or whatever. His little kid looks like John Cena comes like, oh hey, how's it going?
Oh, yeah.
I remember that.
I do.
But when it was like when The Rock came, I was like, he's like, you can't see me. We try to play peekaboo. What are you trying to talk about? You know, come out with your different color shirt. Come out looking like a bowl of fruity pebbles.
I just like seeing John Cena run out when he has his clothes on. He just runs out and he just rips the shirt off and slides in. Like that's funny. Like because he's so short. He looks so short on camera. So
you don't realize like how big some of those wrestlers are until you see them in person. Like you know, like of course, like Brock Lesnar looks big on TV, but when you see him walk past you to go to the ring, and you just
I'm probably terrified.
Like, you know, like these are some really like.
But I do gotta admit though, the Rock did was really entertaining, especially the stuff he was talking about people and stuff. There was one video where he's like making fun of all the other wrestlers.
Yes,
like, he got Triple H going to get inside the ring.
Yeah, that to me, he's undefeated on the mic. The only person that came close was Jericho, because Jericho could talk.
Oh, the mic. Oh yeah, the mic. But The Rock had it down.
The Rock could just grab the mic and just say anything. To like, he told this dude one time, he was like, "We're out here to celebrate. Like the fans want to see me. Nobody came out here to see you and your moose knuckle." Like I was like, he said that on TV. Like they just give him the green light to say whatever. So I think part of that is why he was my favorite. But I mean, like back in the day, he would just pull up. He would have the belt. He never wore it. He would always carry it. He would go to the ring with like an Adidas tracksuit on and wrestle. He would go to the ring. He had like, remember he'd have like the Gucci shirt on with like the Rolex biscuit, and he'd have like sunglasses on and stuff. He just looked different than every other like wrestler at that time. You know what I mean? Austin, he looked like Goldberg. Don't
talk about Austin. I love Cold Stone Steve Austin.
I never liked.
He threw out beers. Okay, he threw out beers to the crowd. That's the man for the peoples. That's the man for the peoples.
Vince McMahon threw money to the crowd. I wouldn't say that he's a man of the people.
I mean, okay, I would have throw $100,000 out maybe. But the wrestler that scared me the most was the Undertaker. I could not take it when they brought him out and it went dark and he popped up in the eyes. I was like, nope. Mm-mm.
I think he's the GOAT of all time. Like
he has the best. He has the best entrance. I love his entrance.
Who's that?
To give me the Undertaker.
Oh yeah, the Undertaker. Yeah, his entrance. I mean, the stuff he used to do too, where the lights come off, especially like when the lights come off and then the lights come back on, you're like boom with the bell. Yeah, and then everybody and whoever's in the ring, they're always looking like down the ramp, and all of a sudden lights go off. He appears like right behind them. I love those, man.
That actually, I seen that happen in person. Like we were in St. Louis and Brock Lesnar was fighting Seth Rollins for the belt, and he'd hit the F5, so everybody knew he was going to win. It was like 1, 2, boom, and the lights went out, and everybody's like, "No way, bro!" And like the lights came back up, and Undertaker was standing in the ring behind Lesnar. And Lesnar turned around and he grabbed him and just gave him the choke slam. And I was like, my grandmother was sitting next to us, and she jumped out of her seat, and I was like, "Wait, what you mean you can't walk? I saw that." Like, but
I'm calling.
Like, walking. It was so cool to see, obviously it's at the end of his career, but it was cool to see, before he retired, to at least see him in person one time. Because, like I said, The Rock was my favorite before Undertaker became my favorite. But I think part of that is that Undertaker was there all the time that The Rock was gone. When Rock retired the first time, Undertaker was there that whole time. So I was seeing him every week. And I think that's why he became, my favorite. Plus, horror, it just worked. Him and Kane had that
Oh, Kane was so good. That was good. Like back and forth. I like them too. They're back and forth.
Do you have a Kane mask shape? I feel like you would have one.
No.
Like from especially one from like the '90s. We had like the old school and they covered the whole face, like nothing was open. You
Mm-hmm.
you couldn't see anything. They had
See,
like
now
a little,
besides the little wrestler, I was always big Sting. I was always a big Sting fan.
mm,
I love Sting,
Okay.
man. He was some. He had that baseball bat. He was like
yeah,
he always came prepared.
and I saw some documentary. He was talking about how that bat was real. Like he still has it today. So when Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan and them was getting beat with that bat, that was a real bat. It wasn't like fake for TV. That was a real bat because he was showing it. He's like, yeah, look at all the dings and the dents. He's like, look, that's Kevin Nash's blood right there. Like,
Okay, now here's something. I wonder if you guys have ever seen this movie. It came out like back in like I think the late '90s, early 2000s, and it was called Ready to Rumble. And it's got basically Dewey in it.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's got so basically they got the big timers. They got Goldberg in it. They got Sting in it, and basically the wrestler that they're helping out, he's an actor.
it's David
And-
Arquette. That's
Yeah,
right.
he's the king. You know, the king. Oh, what was it, Larry the King or something like that? You know, I will rule you.
I do
Like, that
remember
movie-
that.
That movie was freaking fun. I love that movie. I think you can watch it on YouTube for free.
They gave David Arquette the world championship in WCW in just their long list of mistakes that they made. Because they could have won the war. You know, WCW could have beat WWF at the time, and they could have wrestling might look totally different if Goldberg and Sting and those guys had been the ones that made it versus the Undertaker and The Rock and those guys. So, but they shot themselves in the foot. Why did David Arquette win the championship? Why did Karl Malone and Dennis Rodman wrestle each other? Like, what the hell is going on? Like, you know,
Entertainment.
there's entertaining, and then there's just like, let me submit this question mark. Like, I mean, I don't know. I just always thought it was cool. It's cool to see elements of stuff that you like in other places. You know what I mean? So it was cool to see that they were bringing horror into this, you know, into like wrestling, something else that I love. And my like we were talking about like with the scripting and stuff like that. Or my mom used to always talk about wrestling being scripted, being fake. I hate that word because it's not fake. Getting slammed is not fake. But my mom would always criticize that, and I was like, so you're telling me, because you like watch something on Raw and then she would be talking about it, and I'm like, so you have a problem with this? I'm like, but tomorrow morning you're going to be watching Days of Our Lives,
And everyone dies and comes back, and on all those soap opera shows. I grew up with my grandma watching them, and I was just like, they always die, come back. They always were in a coma, and you know, they have a twin sister, twin cousin. I'm just like,
they forget who they are. Like, you know, and I was like, because my mom, and she doesn't, I think, she doesn't really care for horror movies today because she snuck in to see The Exorcist when she was like 15 in 1974, which was a mistake. And so, and so she went in, and I think it just skewed her. She thinks every scary movie is going to be that scary to her. And so it just kind of skewed her like away from it. Not that she hasn't seen other, movies and stuff, but so she'll be like, I can't watch horror. I can't watch all that killing and all that shit. And I'm like, Mom, you just watched The Equalizer. Denzel Washington killed a motherfucker with a credit card.
With a credit card. Yeah, that's like, pretty evil.
So like, what's the difference with this guy has a knife? Like, yeah, how is that different?
Because it's Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington can play a bad guy, but we still love and care for him at the end of the day. It's not so bad if it's Denzel Washington.
I guess. Like, I mean, maybe that's what it is. But Steven Seagal and Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Patrick Swayze, and what's the dude's name that plays Rambo? Like those
Sylvester Stallone.
like she'll sit there and watch those dudes, Arnold Schwarzenegger get to the chopper. Like she'll watch that bullshit like all day long, and I'm like, but you talking about like, oh, I can't watch Child's Play, I can't watch Chucky or I mean not Chucky, Candyman or whatever. Like Candyman is scary, like the OG one, But
Oh yeah.
I
Just
never
tell
understood.
her to start light, something like Child's Play would be something light for her. Like that would be something a light horror movie because it's a doll. I mean,
Yeah,
yes, it's a scary, creepy doll, but it's a doll. Like if Chucky came in here right now, I don't think I would be that scared.
Yeah. But now see, now you brought up Jean Van Damme. You ever notice in all his movies, he's always getting the crap kicked out of him at the, like when he's fighting the final boss or the final guy, right? He's always getting the crap kicked out of him begin the first part of the fight, and then he gets that last bit of energy, and he's like just winning. I'm like, how in the hell are you gonna do that?
Mhm.
Also, like in every movie, he always gets the girl. There's always a sex scene in almost all his movies.
What's the movie? I think my favorite movie with him is The Quest, and that movie just kind of all over the place. But he did get the girl, and it is like he's getting his ass kicked throughout. I mean, he wins a couple of fights, and that's how he is able to keep going. But it's like always that last battle where you think he's just not going to do it. He's not going to make it. And then at, the last 5 minutes, he gets this burst of energy and he wins. He wins whatever the challenge is or the fight.
Yeah.
It's the same thing the Power Rangers used to
do. Same thing.
Like, you remember sometimes the Power Rangers with their ass whooped so bad that they would demorph like out of the suits back to regular human form.
Yeah,
like they got their ass whooped that bad, and then they would still show up later and then fight whoever did that to them and then beat them.
Because they regrouped and they got another little. They had that pep talk. It was always a pep talk with the Power Rangers,
well, and except for some reason. Except for when it was fighting Tommy.
Oh,
hey, the moral of the story is never give up. Never give up.
Okay, John Cena.
Hey, Michael does it. Michael never gives up, and he always fights the next fight. Well, until we get to ends, but that's ends.
I can't wait to hear you guys like go in on that because it sounds like neither one of you like that movie. And
ends for me. I probably won't be here for ends. I'm joking. I'll be here for ends.
Yes, you're your friend.
I want to hear that. I'm a fan. Like,
well, okay. When it comes to ends, as I said, points out, I see what they were trying to do with the movie, and like I said, it's not. You have to be like psychologically involved with the film to understand, the stuff with Michael, stuff with Corey, the town, everything else. You got to. To me, it's a psychological thriller, in my opinion, a psychological thriller because you're basically trying to see why Corey's doing what he's doing, why Michael is, why Towns, all this like that. To me, that's how he tried to get in depth with the film. But I mean, I could have done without the love interest and the romance and all this stuff. I could have done without that and everything else. But if it was more like Corey, someone upon Michael, and I think it's probably a better movie if Corey is still upon Michael. Michael looked in his eyes, right, and let him go, right? And Corey escaped. But then Corey started to develop Michael and tendencies, what Michael does. He's starting to develop that, right? And then kind of going off his own and start doing killings. And then you see Corey doing killings and you see Michael doing killings. It's like the back and forth. You see, Corey killing, Michael killing. And then we get to the end where, Corey's like, going to Allison or something like that, or, go Lori. And then Michael comes at the same time and they have like a little battle. Michael kills Corey. And then you get the battle with Lori and Michael. I think that probably like a better storyline, in my opinion.
I think that it definitely needed more Lori. Like,
I mean, less Lori.
I mean, more in a sense of her like combating Michael. Like, I mean, like more in that way. because I feel like when the trailer came out, it's like they were gonna have this big, huge, grandiose fight, and like that shit was like 30 seconds long. Um, and I tell you what, like for me though, personally, because I hate all the retconning, this felt so like it was resolute. It was finally done, over. And even if it's just for their particular part of the storyline, there was a absolute ending to it. There was a complete resolution. It wasn't maybe he's dead. He could be still alive. Like no, he is gone. He's out of there. You know, like that's what I liked about it.
Here's Child of the Corn says they were the Batman and Robin of Haddonfield. We did Corey early in the trilogy.
That was
What's up, Mac?
That's hilarious. I can see that though. But who would Michael be Batman? He would be Batman.
He can't be
Batman. Corey be Robin.
He would be Batman. Corey be Robin.
I don't know.
Corey be Robin when Batman goes on vacation or out of town and he dresses up in the Batman costume. He just walk around the Batcave.
If that's the case, Corey would have to be Nightwing then.
Oh yeah, he's nice. He's Nightwing.
Well, so honestly, I think when it comes home ends, it was just the whole love thing, and of course the famous line, right? The famous line of every love interest, breaking up. There's like, well, if I can't have her, no one can. It's like, really, you're gonna throw that in there? Like, we've never seen that before.
There was two guys. It was the first guy that he killed that wanted her. That she, the older guy that she dated, and then he wanted her. He just seemed like he was gonna leave her alone.
And I two things. Anthony, if you're still in the chat, I just want to say, what's your favorite song? Return of the Mac. Anyway, but as far as the whole like what you were saying with the love, and it's like, oh God, like are we really doing this? Like, I'm sorry, I was reading what he said.
Yeah. So no, I'm honestly, I would have liked if Corey would have survived and got away, and then have a storyline after 100%. Now, to me, that I'm gonna answer this question because to me that'd be a problem because again, we're not going to see a Halloween movie with a different killer. Mm-hmm. The house called Halloween. We all expect Michael Myers. We're not expecting Corey. We're not expecting Jason. We're not expecting somebody come in, Ghostface come in, playing Michael in the Halloween film. That's not going to happen. Now, I mean, I could kind of see if they would continue if they would have done differently with Corey and have Corey potentially died. Killed himself, and Michael came back, got his mask. They had a final showdown with, Laurie and Michael, whatever, and they take Michael and they throw him in there, and Michael died. And then, but they go back to the house, and Corey's gone. Now that right there would have probably been something to kind of continue off, of course, passing on the evil and everything else. Evil doesn't die; it always changes shape. But how do we know 100% that was actually Michael in the shredder?
Exactly. I think that would have been a good twist to it if that did happen. Like, let's say Lori and what's the green Allison, like they walked off or whatever, came back, got Michael, but like you said, Corey's body's gone. But what if Michael did the whole switcheroo like an H2O? Like they would have known it was Corey.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a telltale.
Corey will still had his hands, all his fingers.
Oh, true.
Corey's a lot smaller than Michael.
True.
But you're saying, how do we know that it's Michael? Like they carried him out the house to the hood of the roof of the car and went straight there.
Yeah, but you see Resurrection.
Yeah. Don't get me started, bro.
Actually, Resurrection, we saw 3 different versions of Michael because we saw, the beginning of the paramedic Michael. We saw Michael, and then we saw
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes Michael. So
Busta Rhymes. What the hell you doing dressed up like me? Like that's one of my fans. And Michael hit him. Shake. Didn't he hit him with the?
Yep, he just walked away.
He did.
Oh, he gave him a body though. A free body was out there in the garage just waiting because Tyra Banks, free kill, just out there kill her.
Yeah, I got the perfect title for the new Halloween movie after it ends. Right? They call it Halloween Regeneration. because Michael Myers is going to regenerate himself from his, crushed up body. He's going to regenerate himself back up.
Like they did in Child's Play 2. Well, Child's Play 3, because at the end of 2, they melted him down.
They blew him
so
up.
Yeah. They'll be funny.
So you were talking about the whole what was the guy's name that was like was he a cop? It's the guy that Corey led to the sewers from Michael to kill.
Yeah, I guess he was a cop because he stopped her.
Yeah, it was one of the Mulaney's. See, they
it was a Mulaney.
The Halloween Kills flashback. Yeah, he was one of the Mulaney's. Now, which Mulaney was he? We don't know which Mulaney was he. Was he the son of the one of the kids, that were picking on
Tommy Doyle? Yeah. Well, yeah, he had to be either the son or maybe because that guy would have been older. She said he was older than her, but he would have been like grandma age. I don't think that would have been approved of.
Yeah, those kids would have been a little bit older. Those kids actually a little bit older. They're actually older than Tommy and Lonnie. So they were probably if Tommy and Lonnie are like in their like early 40s, I want to say 40s because Lori had been. She was like 18, whatever, and she watched them. So she had to be like in her close like this. Well, they might be in their 50s then because, Tommy and Lindsay, they're like 8 years old, maybe 9 years old. Lori she was like 18. So, yeah, I kind of say, well, they probably were in their 50s. So this guy would have probably been in his 50s if he was one of those, if he was that kid with the red hair. But I think it's one of their kids that was like, he might be a little bit more older.
Well, he deserved it.
yeah, I'm not saying that he didn't. I was just thinking when you were talking about the if I can't have her, nobody can thing, and like how they were kind of like fighting over her and all this and that, and it made me think like I feel about Allison the way I saw somebody say this about the Dark Knight Batman. They was like, hey, look, like how like the Joker was telling Batman like the wrong information, like he thought he was going to save one person, he ended up going he thought he was going to go save Rachel, he ended up going to save Harvey because the Joker told him the wrong stuff intentionally. So I saw somebody said, hey man, look, I don't care if I am Batman, I'm not running all over town for no Maggie Gyllenhaal, like I'm not doing it. And that's how I feel like with Allison. Like, did you want to see more of your face?
I don't know. I was typing and I think it was hit something.
Now we're going completely. You not like us?
Hang on. I'm trying to fix it here.
Okay, now we're
oh, hey, this is a good one, right? Hey, what's up, guys?
Now we're really close up. But no, it's kind of the same way I feel about Superman. Lois is such a drag. Like, she just puts herself in danger all the time. And here comes Superman. Like, how has no one figured out that Superman is Clark Kent?
That's the most annoying part about it to me.
Yes, it is.
It's the glasses. Come on now. Now, honestly, if you see Superman with no glasses, right? He's this big, powerful thing, right? Stop planes, everything else, right? And then you see a guy who's basically a bumbling idiot with glasses on. You think you're gonna take one look and say, "Hey, that's Superman"?
Yeah. If you I'll do a test. Like I'll like throw a knife at him or something. See what happens.
No, but still though, I mean, are you going to look twice? So you see Superman, right? So you're seeing the person of Superman, right? And then you see some guy in glasses tripping over stuff, falling down, goofy as shit. You're going to take two looks at him like, "Oh, hey, is that Superman?" You're going to be like, "Look at this guy."
Yes, you know why? Because he has the coif. He always
had the curl.
No, not when he was Clark Kent. He always had a cone back. Always. He had the curl.
No, he definitely didn't.
He was Clark.
My thing is, has no one ever seen Clark without his glasses? Like, has he never had a moment where he had to take his glasses off and clean them or anything?
But even then, there's a part.
He does. He does this. He turns around, cleans them, and he goes back.
It's like really quick. It's like,
he does it so fast, like nobody sees it. It's like, hey, you want to see me? You want to see me clean my glasses?
Want to see
me do it again? Like, but the thing with him though, there are moments where like nobody put it together. Even if you don't look at him and say, "Well, this got to be the same guy," there are moments where Superman is one place and Clark should also be there, but he's not. For instance,
True.
in the Batman vs Superman thing, when Doomsday was happening, when Lex Luthor was making Doomsday, Clark was supposed to be there, like reporting, but he wasn't there. He was fighting Doomsday, right? Nobody said a word about that. And then at the end, when like they were remember like Perry pulled one of the papers off the press and he was like he was reading it and it said like like Clark Kent dies, like our beloved Clark Kent dies or whatever the fact, but on our front cover it said Superman, like mourning the loss of a hero or something.
Mhm.
And on
Oh,
the
okay, but
back-
wait. But hang on though, because if you look at that, right, so Superman died, and it says Clark Kent died as well, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, who's to say that Clark did not die trying to report, this Doomsday thing, and Doomsday or something happened to where Clark Kent got killed?
No, but I'm saying if you have a picture of both of them on the same newspaper,
One's
nobody's
got
looking
glasses,
nobody's
one
gonna-
doesn't.
nobody's put some glasses on right now, please. I need to go ahead, please.
I don't got no glasses.
I need to see.
Okay,
I need
hang on,
this experience.
hang on.
No, but another thing that really made me mad with Batman versus Superman
He's gonna put the mask on.
is Wonder Woman. Yep. Look like shape.
See, two different people.
Yeah, of course. Of course, that's two different people. What's wrong with Wonder Woman, Brittany?
For the fact that she took too long to, say that she was Wonder Woman.
I don't.
She
think
got on that plane and she sat there and watched the battle for a good 10 minutes. And then she was like, you know what?
Well,
I'm gonna go help.
I think what happened is she didn't realize what he was fighting. That he couldn't beat it, because obviously the same thing that hurts Doomsday can hurt Superman. So I don't think she
True.
realized. I don't think she realized that he was gonna be just outgunned, like he was. You know what I mean?
Well, all because of the whole Batman and him fight. The whole him and Batman fighting is really what
I liked it. I don't know.
No. Trust me, I enjoyed that part. Them fighting was the best part of the whole movie when it finally got there. I feel like the movie had a lot of dialogue that could have been, chopped up, cut down a little bit to where we, got those good scenes with him and Superman or Clark Kent and Bruce together. I liked more of those scenes.
Do you guys feel so? I have this thing, like I said, I love superheroes. I don't know if you guys can see up there. There's a Joker poster back there. There's an Injustice poster up there.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the DC superhero thing. But one thing that bothered me is I always hated how Henry Cavill plays Superman because I felt like he was just too arrogant. And maybe that isn't the actor's issue. It's just how they was writing Superman. But then when the whole thing came out with it, Henry Cavill ain't gonna be Superman no more, I was like, man, no, you know what I mean?
I was the same way. I was kind of upset. I was like, dang it, I kind of just got used.
Yeah, well, see, for me, Henry Cavill's got the look. He's got the look,
Mm-hmm.
physical appearance of Superman. Now, again, if you want to look at the comics, you want to look at freaking Henry Cavill, he's got the look of Superman. He's got the hairy chest. He's got the physique of Superman. He looks just like Superman from the comics. Just like Ben Affleck looks just like a comic book version of Batman Bruce Wayne.
Thank you.
So why would you finally have these actors that look just like the comic book be like, nope, we're done?
And you Henry Cavill, nice American square jaw on him and everything.
Yes, it was nice and chiseled. It's like they chiseled it.
Wait, he's American?
Marble.
He's an American? I thought he's British.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm just saying he has an American square jaw.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
I mean, man, I love because I remember when the Justice League thing came out, and I remember seeing the trailers and stuff, and that's how I heard Gary Clark Jr. and the White Stripes. I was like, oh, this is gonna be epic. And we went and saw it, and me and my friends, my family, my friend, we went and saw it, and I was like, this is good, but I didn't know what was left on the cutting room floor. And then when that Snyder cut came out, and
whole new movie. I
was like, dog, I don't ever want to see that. I mean, I remember there's been it's never left my continue watching on HBO Max, like, cause I just go back and I don't sit there and watch the whole thing, but there are certain scenes in there that are just done so much better.
Yeah.
Like, let the guy like see out his vision. I'm not gonna lie, when when Swanwick walked out of the house, and he was like, the world needs Superman. He was like, the world needs you too, Lois. And his eyes turned red, and he started like changing into Martian Manhunter. Like I just had that. I just
I was crazy.
like I had that moment. Like
I figured that in Man vs. Steel, I figured that he would have a bigger role. And then when they
he
showed
was watching
him like,
Superman too closely,
a little bit, and then I felt like when he came back at that part in the Snyder cut, I was like, finally, we are getting this. I knew it was him. I wasn't sure who he was, but I knew it was him. And for now, the confirmation, I'm just like, thank you for my my DC point being right.
I wonder though why he didn't get involved in the Doomsday fight, because he could have just destroyed Doomsday. He's so powerful. Like he's really like literally. You want to talk about people being OP? It's the Martian Manhunter. But what I was thinking was, so you have that moment where Swanwick is talking and he just like knew stuff. It's like he didn't have to go research stuff. He already knew it. Because remember he was talking to Lois and he was like, oh, it's a special type of metal. And he was like, the metal's made by LexCorp. And she was like, go on the record. And he's like, not a chance. All right. And then he just left. But it's like he already knew what this was, like who's making it. He knew all this stuff already. And that scene at the end of the movie where he comes to Batman, and he's like, there's like threats, I'm here to help kind of thing, and Batman was like, he was like, well, all right. It's like, it's nice to meet you. I just had that moment of growing up watching the Justice League cartoon as a kid, and the Martian Manhunter was with them every step of the way. So to see him finally, I just, that complete nerd moment when you're watching something, you get the like, you get what you wanted out of it, and you're like,
and I really liked how we saw in the Snyder cut when Diana was going through the history and talking about what happened before. The fight that they had before to hide the boxes or whatever.
Boxes,
and you saw Martian Manhunter, you saw the Green Lantern, you saw everyone. Like, okay, so when we get these people, because now you teasing me. And I feel like don't just give it to me and then take it back, because I was like really heartbroken. I was like, wait, so we got to see them all, and this is what they were hiding from us. I cheered up a little bit.
Even at the end, that part where Joker is like antagonizing Batman, you know what I mean? And and Batman had to get like, say what you want, man. I liked Jared Leto's portrayal. Like I just thought it just looked so different. Like it kept the roots of it. The purple, the green, it kept the roots of it. He just looked physically different. Like I didn't have that much of a problem with it. And there's so much Suicide Squad original one like left that never came out. Yeah. He said he filmed enough stuff to make a movie just about the Joker for Suicide Squad.
But they cut it because people had negative, viewings towards his Joker. But like you said, he did a really good job as like the gangster type of Joker that he was playing as. Like he wasn't playing, Joker. The Joker character is different. Like he's been different all across the board. So for him portraying the gangster Joker, I thought he did really good. I thought that was portrayed really well, and I love the tattoos and the look of him.
That's what did it from. And he had like the silver cap on his teeth from where like Batman. You just your mind just puts together. Oh, Batman had to knock his teeth out, and that's why he got like. Because there's some in like the extended cut, he's like, oh yeah, this is damage from a certain Gotham City bat. Like, if you watch the extended version of the movie, and I just thought that was just like a cool touch. He wasn't an anarchist like Heath Ledger's Joker.
Oh man, Heath Ledger's Joker was
he was a good Joker too.
I'm not saying he's bad. He's just not my favorite. Like, I understand. Like, I try to look at it by like the time, because Heath Ledger's Joker is how Joker is really supposed to be. That's how he's written in the comics, just completely insane, right? That's how I get it. But they would have never gotten away with that when Jack Nicholson had that role. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or especially when Cesar Romero was the Joker. Like they would have never shown him killing anybody, like he was when. So Heath Ledger had a little bit of an advantage, like the censorship had dropped a little bit, where people weren't as uptight about stuff, and cancel culture wasn't a thing yet either. So like he could get away with more stuff than what he broke a pool stick in half and told two people to fight to the death. Like,
and I kind of still want to know who won. I was like, we didn't get the conclusion to that. I really want to know.
You want to know how I got these scars?
I got these scars, and I like the little tick he did with the whole little. He said he went and he studied that. I was like, that was good. That was a good addition to that character.
He never told the same story twice. Whenever he was explaining to somebody what happened to him, like, and my favorite part of that whole thing, he's like, "Let her go." Like, that's a very poor choice of words. It's so petty, but that's how he is. I remember there was one stream you were doing. It was you and Anthony, and you remember I jumped in and we were talking about like the different like Batmans. I don't know if you remember that. But we were talking about the different. I think this is like right when they had announced there was going to be another Fast and Furious, because we were talking about like all of that stuff. I can't remember which Halloween you guys. I remember having that conversation about the different Batman movies, and just like they do stuff so right, and then because 2 or 3 people like I don't like it, they just cancel the whole thing, and it annoys me. Like,
yeah, I mean, when it comes to Zack Snyder, I mean, especially with, I mean, they had backlash with, I mean, even Man of Steel, like my cousin, he was like, he was not big in Superman killing, Superman's not supposed to kill, and he just snapped freaking Zod's neck, man, right there. And again, it's always like not killing, so like that. So you kind of see like the thing with Superman. They're like, oh my god, Superman actually snapped somebody's neck. First time ever we see Superman snap somebody's neck. You know what I mean? But then of course we get to like Batman vs Superman, and Superman is dark. I mean, Batman is dark. He's branding people. He's like peanut. He's like, oh my god.
And like,
I enjoy my dark Batman. It was pretty good to see him go to the dark side just a little.
But what I always felt about that is if they had made a Batman movie, the one thing where DC tripped up a little bit is not letting Zack Snyder do the whole storyline. Because had he done all of those movies, there would have been a Batman movie first that would have showed him dealing with the Joker or Killer Croc or whoever, and maybe would have explained why he went this dark route. Because being like this kind of like jovial, kind of like more like lighthearted version of Batman.
They hinted that because you see like in the Batcave where they got Robin's costume.
Yeah, where
it's got Joker's things already on. Yeah, so I think that's when he kind of lost when Robin died.
Yeah. Oh well, yeah. So I'm saying that we still didn't get to see it though.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I would have loved to see Robin get killed by the Joker. That would have been good to see it like happen, because we haven't seen it happen.
Because in the comic book, Harley is the one who killed him. So, and then
true,
the closest thing we got to that was when Batman was on top of Joker's car, and Harley was like shooting through the sunroof at him, like that's the closest that we got to that, which I would have loved to have seen them just kind of explore their whole dynamic, how he got into Arkham and all that, but just the way that he tied he went back and tied everything together. And it's like, we know that there are other metahumans out there. People have been spying on them and watching them for years and all of this stuff. And then it seemed like they all knew or heard about each other, but either didn't believe it or just had never seen him. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because remember, he was like, I protect Gotham, and and remember Aquaman was like, oh, that shithole. Yeah. Like and it's like, so he knew who Batman was, he just had never encountered him, that kind of thing. And I just love that part where he's like trying to grab him, he's trying to like recruit all the people, and everybody's just like, no, bro, you're on your own. I'm good. Like some kind
everyone but Diana. Diana's just like, you know what? Just go find everyone else, and maybe
and Flash.
And Flash. Oh yeah, and Flash. He was hype. He was like,
wait. Always remember, Diane and Batman always had a thing for each other.
Yeah, they hinted at it a little bit. So, but she was still grieving. What was his name? Steve. Yeah, that she was still grieving a little bit.
Because you remember, like Whedon put that in that version, and she said something, and he was like, "Oh, did Steve Trevor tell you that?" And she like hit him in the chest, and he
yeah.
like staggered backwards, and he was like, "My bad." Like,
Oh yeah, when they were having that little scene in the jet, and he was making a drink. Yeah, I remember that.
they're arguing about, they were arguing about should we use the mother box to bring Superman back? You know, because it's like, imagine if your cells are just laying dormant, but they're incapable of decaying. The mother box can bring you back. You know, and you know, but Aquaman was right. He's like, you lose something when you die. You know, maybe not as hard, but maybe his soul. And sure enough, when he came,
Lane.
which don't get me started on that shit. But
tomatoes.
I don't like what's the lady name to play Lois Lane? I just don't like her.
I don't remember her name, but she played in I liked her better. She played in Disenchanted or Enchanted.
Yeah, Enchanted.
Enchanted. I liked her in Enchanted.
At least she could have did was dyed her hair black.
At least,
like at the very least, you could have dyed your hair black. But
I didn't like redhead. That would have been easy to dye your hair black, being a redhead.
I didn't like how Superman came back and then he just attacked them, but they made all the Justice League look like they were completely worthless. It's like, wait, so if all of them are just going to get their ass whooped by him, then what is the purpose of them being a team? Like,
yeah,
true.
You know, because what I know from reading all these comic books, I got this big encyclopedia. It's in the closet of every DC character ever made. The book is like this big, and it's talking about some of the characters and their traits. And it was talking about how, like, Aquaman, his body is depressurized from being in Atlantis and stuff, that the Atlantean steel can pierce Superman's skin, the trident. So he's just as strong. But the movie wouldn't have told you that, you know? He ran up on him and he just like elbowed him out the way.
Yeah, the whole scene where they all attacked him at once, and he's just still.
He's holding them all like that. I didn't like that. Like, I just thought it made them look so weak. And when they go to fight, it's like, so they can't fight him, but somebody who is so strong that they needed him to help them, they can now beat. Yes. But they couldn't beat him. I didn't like that scene. It didn't make sense.
Hey, don't these movies tell you anything I just said earlier?
Gotta believe.
Child of the Corn says, what is your choice for the most underrated Batman film, live action or animated? Your choice.
Underrated?
I don't know about underrated, but I can tell you what my favorite is.
Well, for me, when it comes to animated, I do love Batman Beyond.
I'm gonna go Sub-Zero.
That's a good one.
Sub-Zero was fire.
I can't think.
Pun intended.
Batman film. Now I have a little bit of a dilemma because one of my favorite movies is actually with Jim Carrey's The Riddler. Only because I love the way.
Wait, no. That Batman Forever, that might be the answer.
Yeah, because Jim Carrey killed it at The Riddler. And then who was the guy that played Batman for that one? I forget his name.
Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Yeah. He's not my favorite Batman, but I enjoyed him in that movie. Now my worst Batman, like bottom of the line, George Clooney. Like,
oh no, man. Hey, Batman Robin was the best Batman movie we ever got.
No, Poison Ivy was the best part of that movie.
It's a shape. I don't appreciate the sarcasm. I don't appreciate it.
Like, yeah, I'm being
serious, man.
No, you're not.
Batman Robin was the best. You know why? Because I was a kid back in the day when Batman Robin came out. I had toys. I had Mr. Freeze. I had everybody.
That was almost blasphemy what you just said.
No. I was gonna say I can't tell you the most underrated, but I can tell you my favorite. That one, Batman and Robin, is my favorite. It's the first one I ever saw, and you know there's some questionable casting choices, but like the movie is just good. Like
the movie is good. George Clooney is horrible as Batman. Horrible. But the Robin is good. The Robin is good. I love the Robin. I love that we got Batgirl. Shout out to Batgirl. And then Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze, and then we got
Uma Thurman.
Poison. Yes, that's Poison Ivy, and I love her and anything she does. Like Kill Bill, love her.
I like that version of Bane better than the one in Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I think of him as this huge like wrestler, the Venom and all that stuff. And then 2, I feel like Ben Affleck was the only one that was good as Bruce and the Bat. Like everybody else was either they were good as one or the other. Like Val Kilmer has swag as Bruce Wayne. He wasn't the best Batman. And same thing with Michael Keaton. I think Michael Keaton probably the worst to me.
I love Michael Keaton. He's one of my favorites. Like Batman Returns. I love that one.
Oh my God, that's you talking about the worst. Oh God.
Wait, is that the one with? Wait,
that's the one with. That's the one.
Is that the Penguin?
Yeah. Oh.
No, I like the one. I like Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Now I like her Catwoman. Like they did a movie of her. Like I didn't like Catwoman with Halle Berry. I didn't enjoy that movie.
I mean, the only thing I didn't care for Batman and Robin was you had Batman and Robin with nipples, but they did not put nipples on Batgirl.
Yeah, they didn't. I noticed that too.
Hey, and then 2, do you guys ever notice every time they suit up, the butt, the cheek? They always showed her. They didn't give us nipples for Batgirl. They gave us her butt, the butt shot for her. I think they did for the butt shot for Batman era. No, they did. They don't. I don't think they did. I don't think they gave us Batman or Robin's butt, but they gave us Batgirl's
butt. Funny. That's funny.
And there's like obviously every movie has its inconsistencies, but that part when Batman is like he's like, I was standing there when Poison Ivy unplugged your wife. I saw it all happen. No, you weren't. Like you were on the other side of the room, and he played the video, and it was like crystal clear HD standing right in front of her when she was like, as I told Lady Freeze when I pulled her plug. It's like he was standing right there and just, hey, go ahead and say it now. Like what?
He had a bat, a little motorized bat just flying right there, recording that. That's what it was.
In crystal clear HD in 1997. Yeah. Okay.
Crystal clear HD. That was 4K. 4K right there.
Okay. We want to talk about Superman. You know, people say, oh, you get the glasses, you know. Okay, how come no one questions Batman? Like, hey, Bruce Wayne, the richest guy in the company, and all this high-tech stuff that Batman's got, I mean, how we can't put two together?
We've gotten close. We've gotten close with people putting 2 together, but, you know, never really made it fully out in the open. And didn't someone say that? Private. Someone, I forget which movie, came out and said that he was Batman, but then
that was Batman Forever. Yeah, he was in the stadium, and then like, yeah, hey, who's saying? He's like, I'm Batman, you know, and then, yeah. But again, though, when it came to George Clooney Batman and freaking even like Michael Keaton's Batman and Val Kilmer's Batman, they were like playboys. Like they got the girls and stuff like that, you know. So it was kind of like, how come no woman ever stumbled upon the Batcave?
I would say after a drunken night, you didn't accidentally like hit a picture or something.
What's her name? Vicky Vale. And she never went to the press about it, but she knew about it.
Yeah, wasn't she the reporter girlfriend? Or
for the Batman Forever one,
89 Batman. 89 Batman.
Oh yeah, she did know. She found out. She just never said anything.
Remember, because Batman was like, "How much do you weigh?" And she was like, 120. And like, you know, he like put the grappling hook on her. And when they got in the Batmobile, he was like, "You weigh a little bit more than 120 pounds." And like, he was driving to the house, and he was like going down through like the tunnels and all this stuff. And you know, because remember, he just kept looking over at her. He was, like she was gonna do something, and remember she got out when he parked the Batmobile, and he was like, "Watch your step," and she looked down, and it was nothing but just like a drop off, like where the car was, and she saw those cages with the bats in it and stuff, and that's when I think he took her upstairs or whatever, and she like went to sleep. She never saw him like take the mask off or anything at that point. Because remember, she had like a photo of him either putting the cowl on or taking something. Because remember when she woke up, she was back at her house and she was looking through her file. She was like, "Damn it, he took the picture." Like,
oh yeah, did he take her because she had she needed the cure for something?
He
Isn't
saved
that-
her. He saved her when Joker came in. Remember when Joker came in the art gallery and started destroying all the art?
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Like that's when he came and saved her from that scene.
Okay, I remember that one.
I'm sorry, dude. I feel so bad. Just talking about superhero stuff.
Oh yeah, we done jumped off way off the map.
We really jumped off. Anyways, back to Halloween Kills. No, but before we go back to Halloween Kills, but with all the Batmans, they all have the same voice until we get to the Dark Knight trilogy, where it's like, I'm Batman.
I'm Batman.
And he yells about everything too. Where are they?
Hey, he said Rachel more. Maybe against that freaking Rocky said Adrian.
Adrian.
I
love Rocky.
Words.
I have a problem with the Rocky movies too.
I love the Rocky movie. Well, but I love the Rocky movies. Like there's some good there's some weaker ones.
You know,
all of them.
Wait, everybody gives like crap to Rocky 5. I actually didn't mind Rocky 5. I actually kind of enjoyed Rocky 5. Especially I do at the end of the movie, that song played by oh my god.
I think it's who played it.
It was the ending song to Rocky 5. It was the song was played by the song was sung by, my god.
I have a song in my head.
He played he sang in The Lion King, the original. Elton John.
Oh,
Measure of a Man. That's a good song. It's Measure of a Man. Now you can love. Now you can live. Now you can choose.
The only thing I hated about that movie is they got rid of Adrian because she died. I was just like, dang.
Oh, that was Rocky Balboa. That was after.
Oh yeah, no, Rocky 5 was when he was Tommy.
Yeah, I do. I love the street fight, man. He's like,
oh, that was good. That was a good fight.
I was like, we got the way call guy, the white guy. He's like, I told you never fight a street fight. My boy was a street fighter. I told you never fight a street fight.
And he's like, you hit me, I sue. And then Rocky came up and got him right in the stomach. Oh yeah, this is Rocky 5. Yeah.
I stopped after 4 because it was too unrealistic.
Oh, 4 was the Russian fight, wasn't it? Yeah, 4 was 4
was
you stopped at the 4?
Yeah, 4 was Drago, 3 was Mr. T, and then the other 2 were Apollo.
The first 2 was Apollo. Yeah. But no, when the first Creed came out, as soon as it ended, I forgot who I was with. But no, as soon as Creed ended, I was like, they're gonna do a Creed 2, and I bet money is gonna bring back Drago's son. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. But I called it. I was like, if I could just write movies at this point, I called that one.
It's funny how that works. But so what I know is just being a huge boxing fan. My brother got me into boxing. You know how they say styles make fights and all that stuff, right? So what I know is like if you just needed like a real example, think about like I always think of it as like the triangle. Like Joe Frazier beat Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali beat George Foreman, but George Foreman beat Joe Frazier. You know, and like it starts over again, you know, because Frazier beat Ali, Ali beat Foreman, Foreman beat Frazier. And it's like Foreman never could beat Ali, you know, like Ali had his difficulties beating Frazier, like it's just the whole styles thing, right? So if Rocky was having his difficulties beating Apollo and the whole split thing happened, Apollo is clearly the better fighter. Apollo gets killed by Drago, but you can go fight this guy who is that much better than Apollo and you don't get killed, but you could barely beat the better guy out of the two of y'all. Like,
come on now. But yeah, but see, the reason why Rocky beat Drago because Rocky went to some rigorous training.
If you say anything about he had glasses
had
on.
the will, he had the belief, and he had to avenge Apollo. That's why Rocky.
Yes, he had to.
I don't
avenge.
What that has nothing to do with like that. Does not stop if you like. It's not going to motivate you if you have brain trauma, like in the middle of the fight. Like it's not. Your will to win does not exceed your body's limitation of damage it can take.
Come on now, you you love comic books. You like DC Universe. Come on. What is the Green Lantern's power? It's will.
It's willpower. Yeah.
The will to go. The will to win. The will to survive.
And Rockies is the eye of the tiger.
But that song has nothing to do with boxing. Like, like there's not one boxing reference in it. So, as far as the willpower thing goes, they established, hey, this is a superpower. I'm just saying, you got this guy taking steroids.
Nothing stronger than family, and that's what Rocky believes in.
Hey, every time I talk boxing, I keep thinking about that scene from Come to America. He's like, why is it time to talk boxing? White guys got to pull Marky Marciano out of the ass. He beat Joe Louis' ass.
That's true. He did whoop Joe Louis' ass.
He said, fuck you.
Hey, when Jules came out of time, he was 106 years old. He said, I know how old he was when you guys asked him.
I don't know how old he was, but he still got he still got his ass whooped.
He said, and he's like, I don't know what his name is. His mama named him Clay. I'm gonna call him Clay.
His mama calling Clay. I'm gonna call the boy Clay. Who's me?
That's funny.
There was that happened for real. Ernie Terrell was like, "Oh, tell Clay he can get on the scale after me." And Muhammad Ali was like, "What did you call me?" And he was like, your mama called you Clay. I'm gonna call you Clay. And he was like, "You will announce it from right here, from flat on your back." Bow! Slapped him in the weigh-in. Said, "What's my name, motherfucker?" Like he was hot about that. And when you go back and watch the fight, Ali is like he was whooping him so good that he's fighting him and then he's stopping. He's like you good? You good? Like, and then just like I've never seen him that angry.
I like the one video where it's got Muhammad Ali against the corner of the rope, and that guy's swinging. He's like, and then the guy fighting back, so he's like,
yeah.
I like, damn.
So Ali, I think he took too much damage. Like he took more damage than he needed to over his career.
Mm-hmm.
I was reading some stat. This was amazing. They said that in one fight against Joe Frazier, Muhammad Ali took as many punches in one fight against Frazier as Floyd Mayweather took his whole career.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like shots that actually hit him, not like shots he deflected or whatever, like punches that actually hit Floyd Mayweather. Like that's how many that Ali ate. He ate like 460 punches in one fight.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Like
I couldn't do it. I couldn't be a boxer. I don't even like to fight.
It's so dangerous. Like, and people sitting up there like just looking at it like it's just this regular, like it's this normal sport to get punched and have your head literally be turned.
I want to know when boxing first started. Like, how did they go about like rules and like, did it just start with two guys fighting and everybody would just start putting in bets?
It's called the Marquess of Queensberry rules. So in Queensberry, England, they were having fights, and then they made this like list of rules that we won't go outside of these rules while these two guys are fighting. And then when boxing became like an actual sport, then they adopted those rules. Like knockout, knockdown, TKO. Like that kind of thing. Okay. It goes back to like mid 1800s or something like that.
Look it up.
Well, anyways, back to kills.
Which has some good kills. I think my favorite kill besides the gunshot to the head was Cameron. It's like he kind of redeemed himself in this movie, but
we didn't even talk about that. Yeah,
but he still cheated on my sis, and I don't appreciate.
Well, I mean, technically he didn't cheat. He was drunk, and then the one girl kissed him. But you saw him. He's like this. He's like this. He's like, ooh.
Did he kiss him? Did he kiss her? Or did she kiss him? I think they mutually kissed
him. And then he's like,
no, he kissed her.
No, she kissed.
He's just mad that he got caught. That he threw her phone in pudding, or
he was drunk.
Keys, whatever that was.
But he did say sorry, and he did help Allison hunt down Michael
after he cheated.
He still helped Allison hunt down Michael and a dress.
He did. I think that was a good way to redeem him. He kind of did redeem himself for me, helping with the whole situation.
Yeah, but I think Cameron's death was the most brutal death out of the whole.
Oh yeah, because Michael forced his head through that stair. Like
not even that. the fact that the way he drew it out too.
Oh yeah, because he smashed and smashed, and then he just pressed and pulled. I was like, oh, I was just like, oh god, okay. I was like, stop. I was like, stop.
Did you see Michael's face when Alan's like, come get me, motherfucker? And he's like, oh, well, hang on, I'll be right there. Give me a second.
Let me just finish him off, and I got you.
And then he's camera sitting like this, and then he walks down this, and he just stops like.
Yeah, he really gave her. He checked this shit out.
Yeah, he stopped like going down the stairs. He stopped right there by the head. It was just like, I did that, and he just kept going.
No, he didn't. He snapped the neck first.
Yeah, he snapped him, walked down. But I think it was I hated that we didn't get to see his dad die because his dad went in the house first, and then a whole bunch of gunshots yelling, and then Tweedledee and Tweedledum were like, well, let's just go in there too.
But I want to see how the kid died. How Michael got the mask, the skull mask.
Oh yeah, I want to see that too because we just saw him holding the mask
at the playground.
Yeah,
three little butthole kids. One was missing. That was
right. They had the Halloween, the Silver Shamrock thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, yeah, the skull mask. Yeah, we never saw what happened to him. He just his mask showed back up in Michael's hands.
I mean, maybe they only had it to where they can only do one kid kill for the whole thing, and we got our first.
So we can only have 2 kid kills per trilogy. So we already got like teenage kids, somewhat teenage kid killed in 18. So you're already planning on killing a kid falling down the stairs. So that's too many. So
after they saw Cameron as a kid, he started, a teenager. Like he was destined to die anyways. He was the friend group. He was destined to die anyways. But like outside kids, I think they maybe had a limit to like maybe 1 or 2. Like one they can show, and then when they were like, okay, we gotta like show that like they did die, but show.
Well, would that be a restriction with it being rated R? Like that wouldn't matter, would it?
Well, I think maybe like they have like they're gonna do, even though it's rated R, they still have like limitations to.
Yeah, because I mean, with any horror film, there's really a restriction on killing kids, especially like back in hell, even like Silver Bullet. You got the world to kill that one kid, but you never saw the body. You never saw what the kid looked like.
Mm-hmm.
So like when it comes to like killing kids in movies, it's basically frowned upon. I mean, you may get a kid get killed, somewhere here and there. I mean, like to where it's not like a gruesome death. Like I said, because when Michael Myers killed the one kid in 18, he just basically snapped his neck. That was it. When the kid in ends, he just fell off the balcony and died. I mean, we see kids fall off the balcony. We see kids, fall into a train, or we see all these kids that die in movies. Yeah, basically, like we never see, Michael or any kind of killer like literally gunning some kid. Put a knife through her, whatever. We don't actually see that. So I mean, I think that's when Michael had the mask. His knife was bloody. The mask so bloody. I think like, hey, we can't be showing this part here.
Yeah, they were like, we get it, because the 2 kids were like, they were looking for their other friend, and
they're waiting for their friend. We're waiting for a friend.
Yeah, and it's like Michael got him before he got you.
There's man playing peekaboo with us.
They're like, yeah, it's like we're not scared.
Yeah, okay.
Weren't they also what was the last name of those butthole kids? Mahoney's or whatever.
Oh, the
Mulaney's. Weren't they also Mulaney kids? They weren't. I thought they said their last name was Mulaney's. Maybe I'm just thinking that.
No, their last name Mulaney's. Now we get the Mulaney's in the flashback scene, and then of course then we hear again about the Mulaney and ends with that.
Yeah.
Here's a thing something that I've wondered for an extremely long time, and I remember now that we have to legacy character, the whole 3-man skin.
Okay.
I remember I asked Brandon this a long time ago, like when I first had like found his channel. Why didn't Michael just surrender? Like, was his goal, just a thought I had. Was his goal to have, he was going to maybe have this killing spree or kill these specific people on Halloween, right? But that always gets interrupted. So that's why he keeps coming back, because he never got to do what he was going to do the original Halloween that he set out to do this. It got interrupted, but But then, if that's the case, then why just give up? Because he could have just waited, for the cops to close in on him. After he did the Harlem Shake and flew off the balcony, and he could have just waited then. But like you said, he got up, he went home. We see what happens and stuff. Hawkins kills his partner, and but then he comes out and then he's just standing there. I can't remember if he dropped the knife or what, but they're just standing around him, and he's just like, and without doing like this, he basically is like, all right, you got me, we cool. And so that's why I say, like, was that his original plan? Was just that night to go kill, and then that's it. I'm done. I'm cool. Like, y'all lock me away forever. I did what I wanted to do. I'm good. But then that kept getting interrupted, and that's why he keeps coming back.
I never really thought about it like that. That could be a point that he's just trying to, cross off those bodies that he never got, because every time we have a Halloween movie, the people that he see during the day are the same ones that he kills during the night. It's every time.
That's kind of interesting.
Maybe he's keeping a list and checking it twice. What's up? Gotta come back and kill you. You made it.
Yeah, for real. Like, I seen you standing by the porch of my house. Didn't like that. Like,
See, I don't know. See, this kind of. I don't know about that, because when it comes to like Michael Myers, like he escaped, killing. I think that's just, as John Carter put it, he's just a force of nature. That's who Michael Myers is. And
but then why surrender? He could have killed all those cops right there.
Well, just like when it comes to like surrender, he was already, in a way, he was basically surrounded by the cops with guns already drawn on him. I mean, again, with the mob scene, there was only like one guy had a gun and everything else, and Michael Myers still got his ass whooped. At the same time, Michael kind of disrendered, but he basically was just standing there, and of course, gun. I mean, again, any normal person, is just going to stay there, just stand still, because if you got cops around you with guns on you, are you going to be like trying to kill the cops? No,
right. But you just said he's a force of nature, so it kind of, those two statements contradict each other.
Again, we're talking about when we talk about force of nature, we got the John Carpenter 78. Now when we go to the David Gordon Green trilogy, he's just human.
But this is on the same night of the John Carpenter thing, so that doesn't work.
Yeah, but when we vote, if it's around with David Gordon Green, he's just human.
Maybe when
same night, though.
Not Hawkins. Was it Hawkins? Yeah, maybe when Hawkins came out, I was like, wait, maybe whatever Hawkins said that night kind of just touched him a little bit. He's like, you know what? I'm not gonna kill these guys. Like, he's saving me. I'm gonna spare you guys. Like, he helped me take out a body up there.
My heart and soul. You know what? You touched me.
He was like, I've never heard anyone talk about.
We'll just okay. Well, here we go again. What about 78? Like, what if Michael Parents did not pull up at that time he walked out of the house?
Yeah.
Oh wow! Like,
would he just stand there, or would he go on like some more killing sprees?
Yeah.
I think he would have probably just stood there in shock.
It begs the question, I think, for sure. Like, what would he have found somebody else to kill? Yeah. But the fact that he was in like such like a catatonic state, almost like Jamie seemed to be at the end of Halloween 4, that surrender to me seems different than the one in Flashback.
See, I don't know, because again, I'm just thinking, like I said, Michael's going on killing spree, but again, I think at that point in time, it was kind of like I got some kills in. I think I'm just gonna hang out for a bit. Because I think he's going home for a reason. But again, he was already shot by Dr. Loomis 7 times or 6 times, wherever you want, how many you want to count. And then so in a way, if you're going with David Gordon Green trilogy and their parameter of what Michael Myers is, basically Michael Myers is basically kind of already wounded at that point. And then of course, he was still kicking ass. He basically took that one, beat that one cup up, tie him up, basically like holding him, then Hawkins shot him. Then okay, then he's walking down the stairs. But at that time, it's probably like, man, I already got shot like 6 times. I don't think he get shot again. So again, it's like maybe, or in a way, it's like what some predators do. You know, they play dead, right? They play dead. Maybe that's what his thing was. He was just playing dead. They arrested him, but again, he was playing dead
for 40 years.
Well, no, he was just standing there in front of the lawn with the cops around, right? The one cop came behind him, like kicked him in his knee, and then knocked him out. You see him, he's like, bam, bam, and Michael's like, and falls down, and then Loomis is going to take that shot, and then Hong was like, no. And it took Michael in. So again, it's like again, like they always say, like there's like a light switch that basically it turns on, then it turns off, and then it's like when the opportunity comes for him to actually escape, it like turns on.
So you're telling me that for 40 years he had no opportunity to escape?
I mean, maybe he just was content.
No, because, okay, but you see, it's always when they're going to transfer him is when he escapes.
And it has to be before Halloween. They can't transfer. You know, they can't do it any other time. But right before Halloween, he's like, you know what? This is the perfect time. I'm gonna escape tonight.
But it was it because they're supposed to transport him in 78, and then he escaped. Mm-hmm. And then in 18 they were transporting him, and then he escaped. So it's like the one time he ever truly escapes or does his thing is when they're transporting him.
He's like equal opportunity. I mean, you know, they're out on the open road. You said what?
That Halloween 4, didn't he escape in Halloween 4 too? That's when he's in the back of the ambulance.
Oh yeah, 4. Oh, yeah.
But he was still in a coma state. But then someone said, "Oh, his knees, Jamie." He's like, he's like, what? He's like, what? I got some bullets still out there. I gotta get out of here. So if they would never say Jamie, he probably would stay comatose for a while.
Yeah, right. He just that's fine. That's normal.
And then he went back into the coma at the end of 4 because he woke up out the coma at the beginning of 5 in the underground.
And that's the thing. And look, and you talking about like, oh, he didn't want to get shot again. Like I already got shot so many times from the end of 78. And I know it's not like, David Gordon Green thing, but in 4, the way they lit his ass up at the end of 4, that should have killed him. Like if he was gonna die from anything, the way they lit him up, that should have been non-survivable. Like, because some of them had 12 gauges.
Yeah, don't forget they killed someone like a little before that too with the same shot. So Michael definitely been.
That's like shit. You dumb son of a bitch. You said you saw Myers.
I was like, is this now the time to argue and point fingers, or could we notify the parents of the child we just killed?
It wasn't. I don't think it was a child. Like, But what's more tragic though? What happened to Ben Tramer or what happened to Ted Hollister?
No, I gotta give it to Ben Tramer because Ben Tramer got hit by a damn police car and blew up.
I gotta give it to the kid behind the bushes because he didn't even know what was going on. At least Ben Tramer knew, like, hey, you dressed as Michael. They're screaming Michael. You looking around.
But he didn't know.
Oh, no, he didn't know, but he knew the surroundings of what's happening. Now, the dude behind the bush.
Oh, no one knew surroundings because no one knew somebody dressed up as like this killer was killing people. I mean, in Halloween 4, everybody knew if you were coveralls and a white mask, you were Michael.
It was at least he knew what was happening. Poor guy behind the bush was probably just, trying to use the bathroom, throwing up, anything, and all of a sudden, could you just imagine you trying to pee behind a bush, or you're just throwing up behind a bush, and all of a sudden you getting shot? That was
He lit his ass up behind that bush.
They didn't give a warning shot. They didn't even scream or say anything. To
you know what's funny? Someone actually said something about that. It's like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm gonna say.
Somebody shot a warning shot, or they should have shot a warning shot.
What was I gonna say?
Come on, you got it. Right there.
You were talking about
Oh yeah, someone said like, well, how come no one called the police about that? About the killed. Like, there was no police force.
Yeah, he killed the whole police department.
You haven't got a police force.
It's like half the police department was killed at the station, and then 4 or 5 that went to the sheriff's house. Also,
I would have loved to see that scene.
Oh
He
yeah,
goes to the police, office and like slaughters everybody.
What's my man? What's my man's name at the power plant? Don't try none of that Halloween
Oh,
shit
Bucky.
with me. and then
Bucky.
then he turned and like just like left. Nah, bro. This creepy dude standing. I ain't about to turn my back to him. Hold on.
they'll walk away slowly, but we're facing each other the whole time. Like I can walk backwards.
Like, but I think, yeah, they could have at least yelled out. Like, even if they didn't know that it was Ted Hollister, they still could have been like, yo, like make yourself known, or we're about to shoot. You know?
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
come from behind the bush, or you finna light it up. Something.
They just hey, that bush moved. And then, like,
Now wait, that was Ted Hollister, one of the kids that were just like Michael Myers.
Yeah, and
what?
At the
So
end
in
of
Halloween 4, remember Halloween 4? They had basically those kids dressed up as Michael.
Mm-hmm.
And then basically, like when Dr. Loomis and the one there, he's like 3 Michaels pop up, and Dr. Loomis about to shoot him. And they're like, "No,
yeah.
Why was Ted Hollister was one of those kids, one of those guys?"
Probably, and he just was like either too drunk, and he was like, you know what, I'm gonna just throw up, and maybe he was just laid out there for a little bit trying to compose himself.
He wouldn't have had a mask on though, because when they walked over there, he walked over and he instantly was like, "Shit, it's Ted Hollister."
He had the mask in his hand. He was throwing up. Gotta take the mask off, throw up behind the bush.
There's a lot, so we can talk about that, man. It's like some that we see is like, man, like, well, they could have done this, they could have done that. Honestly, who leaves a mask on Michael Myers and puts him in the jail cell?
True. They didn't want to identify him, but I mean, I guess they already knew who he was. So,
and honestly, they rebuilt the entire police force in 1 year, and then all of a sudden, the Men in Black came and shot all up. Michael Myers,
which is hilarious. It's still funny to think. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, good. That's okay.
I said it's still funny to think that they thought that what was the little man with the umbrella name? I don't know if they gave him a name. They thought that was Michael. This man is like 5 feet shorter than Michael.
And kills.
Like no one saw Michael's face, but let's just be honest with ourselves. Was Mr. Penguin out here killing people the way Michael was? I'm just saying.
Oswald Cobblepot.
Yes, it's like here's him, here's Michael.
Yeah,
there's difference.
We got a question in the chat by Little Joey. Says, "I'm going to drop one of the best Batman quotes, and I want you to guess which live action Batman said it." Here's a quote. "I lost my parents that made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs." Wait, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the Batman way. "I lost my parents that made me who I am. I spent a lifetime trying to right the wrongs of the past, as if I fight crime would bring my parents back. Batman. I'm Batman." Well, what we're thinking about, he's got a question for me. He says, "I have a question. What's your question?"
So
which Batman said that?
Exactly. So the first thing that came to my mind is trick question. All of them.
They all said that exact word for word line?
No, that was a joke. I'm just saying because it's Batman.
Because all of them do the same. I would say the one from the one where he was talking to the girl, but she was drunk or asleep, but he was confessing himself as being Batman, but she's unconscious. I think that was the one with Jim Carrey being the Riddler.
I say it's
You think it's Batman Forever?
I think it was Batman Forever.
I say Michael Keaton's Batman.
Yeah, I think it's 89 Batman. For some reason, I feel like that's something he said to Vicky Vale. Because you remember he was at remember when he went to Vicky's house and he's talking to her, and that's when the Joker came there too.
Oh yeah, I remember that when they were in the office or whatever. It looked
they were in her apartment, and remember Joker shoots him. He had taken that little tray and like slid it inside his coat pocket.
It wasn't her. It wasn't her office. It just was a really open. It looked like a
it was
studio.
like the foyer of her apartment. Yeah. because remember, like he shot him and Batman hit the ground, and when Joker left, she came back and he was gone.
Mm-hmm.
But like that little tray was on the ground with the bullet still in it.
I thought that was slick. Oh, that's slick. That was smart.
Yo says, do you guys want the answer? And then Child of Corn says Ben Affleck.
Now I think this is something that came before that. Like,
yeah, I think this was a before Ben Affleck.
And then
oh darn it! And I love Michael Keaton. That was my favorite Batman.
And Michael Joe says something about the Halloween. Says, would you like to see Michael go to New York like Michael takes Manhattan, like Jason, or go to Mexico?
Ooh, Mexico might be fun. That might be something new and different.
Okay, have you seen Juan versus Michael Myers? Oh no, have you seen was it Michael Myers meets Mexicans or something like that? Have you seen that one?
I've seen the video about that.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But I mean, what for that? What would title be called? We go like Halloween 60. Michael Myers goes across the border.
Michael goes,
no, Halloween 60. Michael has trouble at the border. What you mean? This is my passport. Like, sir, you're gonna have to take the mask off, like before we let you cross.
I mean, when it comes to like Mexico or even like New York, for me, it wouldn't. I'm not necessarily saying that it would not work, but for me, is when you think of Halloween, you think of the spooky season, you think of fall. You want to see the leaves, you want to see the change, you want to see that that fall atmosphere. When it comes to like big cities like that, you really don't see that kind of atmosphere in the cities. Like I said, I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so our fall, I see no damn leaves changing. We have palm trees in the desert. That's what we had. We never had the leaves change there. So I mean, when to me it's like you gotta have the atmosphere.
I love it during fall time. I'm in Arkansas, so I love when it is fall time and the trees start to die off and the leaves fall. It's beautiful.
Michael Myers can go to the hood like Leprechaun. Halloween in the hood.
that would be. I would like to see that. I would like to see that happen. Michael might actually make more friends than anything. And I'll snap. It's Michael, y'all.
I saw a TikTok video said if Michael Myers was in the hood and black, it's the show like driving like the station wagon, and he got Laurie and them looking wherever. It's like,
and it was the rap. I forget what song was playing.
Yeah, it's a rap song playing. He's just doing drive-by. God. Oh man, that was real funny.
No, I saw one where it's like Michael Myers goes to the hood and he's like driving by, in the station wagon, and he stops and he sees two black guys on the sidewalk, and they just ignore him and just start dancing out of nowhere. I was like, mind your business, just let them pass on by.
Oh my god,
that's what it would have been. That's funny. I would like to see Michael go to the hood. That's a new movie. Michael Myers goes to the hood.
Myers goes to the hood.
We call it Big Mike in the hood.
Sorry, I went to go turn the the alarm on.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? What Michael Joe says, Michael can go to the hood like Leprechaun.
What do I think?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Big Mike in the hood.
I think it depends on what hood he goes to, because there are some rough areas in Chicago that I don't think he'll make it in. Like,
tell him to go to South Central,
like
LA. Go out there to Compton, Oakland.
Yeah. Michael in Compton, like nah, bro. This is where Eazy-E is from. Back up, dog. Like, yeah, I just don't think.
Like, locking his door and bagging up, like, this not.
I've been to Oakland, man. Oakland's sketchy.
Yeah,
Oakland is sketchy.
No, California is sketchy.
All of California.
You heard they know how to party. Nice parts. California knows how to party. In the city of Compton, they keep it rocking.
Okay, Tupac.
You know that song, right?
Yeah, I caught it.
No, I'm saying Zapp and Roger Troutman. That's their song called California Love, and then Tupac just redid it.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, Tupac.
Like what Joe says, Michael survives all the way through their bullets.
Oh, I don't know, sometimes, the hood, they be having them illegal bullets out there, It might not be all the, you might not be used to them bullets, Michael.
Oh, come on, man. They lit his ass up in Halloween 4. He got blown up in Halloween 2. He survived a decapitation.
Until he gets shot by a Uzi.
He got some ooze stuff like injected to him. He was basically back in a fire, escaped the fire, got attacked by a mob. Yeah, I think Michael Myers will survive.
Why would she leave that escape, like that little, like, not escape room, but that little, like, hideaway, like breakaway panel there?
Oh yeah,
If
the
her
gun
plan
case. I don't think
if her plan was to trap him there, why would you leave any place for him to hide from the fire?
You know what's funny is that when you look at the gun case in 18, that gun case is small. Nobody could fit in there. And then when he got killed, man, they made that fucking gun box a little bit more bigger.
Yeah, they stretched it out like a couple more inches. It didn't look like a bookshelf, like with a case over it. Like nothing's going in there but what's supposed to be going in the shelves. But then when you got to kills, it looked like they pushed it back to where it was just enough for a human to just step right there. It's like, no, that's not how it was.
Oh my god.
That's interesting.
Before I get to his, it says Lil Joey says he's the only other Batman besides Affleck to fight Kryptonite, as saw in the Flash trailer. So he was a bulletproof suit that was taken out of armor. Okay. And then
I can't wait to see him in the Flash.
Then Lil Joey says Michael will become the leader of the hood. And then he says, imagine a Hood Loomis.
Hood Loomis is just like one of them older OGs who just, who's still around. So when Michael comes, he's like, gotta get the old gang back together.
Here's Loomis, right? Here's Hood Loomis, right? Yo, Michael, trick or treat, motherfucker.
No, well, she said if he's one of the OGs, he's one of those OGs that talks all proper, and he's trying to help. Michael, you need to get out these streets, homie. Look what happened to me, blood. Like
a furious OG.
They giving you all the tools to destroy yourself. You keep getting all these knives, blood. Where do you think that's gonna lead you? Like,
oh my god!
Like you're gonna be just another example. They're gonna put you back in the system.
Back in the system is crazy. That's funny.
That's funny.
You asked us, bro. Like,
that's funny.
God.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. Like, that would be entertaining.
I would watch it.
Michael Joe says, imagine Jason in the hood.
No, I don't think Jason will last too long in the hood.
Are you kidding me? Jason's a freaking zombie. He's gonna last. Unless they got the bazooka. What was that? What was that movie where it's got the Wayans brothers and
don't be a menace in South Central while just drinking your gin and juice.
Yeah, it was Wayans brothers where the guy brought a gun. He's like, oh, I got this. Then they brought the bazooka, and then he goes to the truck, and then
we have a
problem?
I was like, my god.
The Wayans brothers always go so over the top.
What happened to them?
I mean, Marlon still does his comedy movies and stuff like that.
What I think, man, honestly, is they're just cashing checks or going direct deposit, and they're like, we good now. You know what I mean? Because so once you make 100 episodes of anything on television, you go into syndication automatically. The Wayans brothers TV show from the 90s made 99. They canceled them on the 99th episode.
Mm-hmm.
But then television was still like, that's close enough to 100. We'll put them in syndication. So they're getting checks off of that.
And they didn't Living Color do 100 episodes too?
Living Color did over 100, yeah.
Yeah, like, so they're cashing.
But
in My Wife and Kids, so they're cashing checks all across the board.
And then you got Mo Money, and and you got I'm Gonna Get You Sucker, and just the scary movies like
Love and Hate, but Low Down Dirty Shame.
Low Down Dirty Shame, yeah.
Then the first three I think it's the first three scary movies.
Two.
The first two, because I know
They
weren't in the first. They weren't in the third one, but didn't
they wrote that. That's their idea.
Yeah, so they still get money for that.
What? No, they don't. They don't get paid
for everything after 2.
They don't get paid for anything after 2. Yeah, because the Weinstein stole that from them. Actually, Shape, I was going to ask you what your opinion was on that, if you even knew about that. Because obviously we know Scary Movie is the original title of Scream, and then obviously Scary Movie is a parody of I Know What You Did Last Summer and Scream, or like those are like the two that it's really kind of making fun of. And they had written the script for what is now Scary Movie 3 and took it to the Weinsteins, and they were like, no, we think the whole like parody movie era is over. This ain't funny. We don't want to use this, blah, blah, blah. So Sean and Marlon was like, all right. Sean, Marlon, Keenan Ivory was like, okay, cool. And they took it. Like they took it with, and they're like, if you guys change your mind, like we'll still like edit the script or try to work with you or whatever. So then a few months passed, and all of a sudden here's a trailer for Scary Movie 3. But they just told them a couple of months ago that, oh, we don't like this script. This isn't going to be a good movie, anything. And so they bypassed them completely, cut them out of the deal. So then that's why it says like the Weinstein Company on Scary Movie 3, 4, 5, because the Wayans brothers had nothing to do with it.
Oh, so that's why they're waiting to come back for the other movies.
That's why the other movies aren't funny. Yeah.
Yeah, they're not. Like the third one, they had some funny, but it's like after the third one is really where they were just like.
No, see, the third one I didn't really care for. I like the first one and the second one.
Yeah, the first one and the second one, top 2. Well, really,
that first one is hilarious.
Oh yeah, and then the second one, my favorite part of the second one is there's like 2 parts, either the basketball scene.
Yep.
Or it's just like every time I hear that beat, or every time I hear basketball, I'm just like, dun, 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 and I just imagine that part in my head.
Do you remember the original commercial that came from?
Yeah. And then I think my second favorite part would be with, even though I'm terrified of clowns, it would be with the clown.
Clown is creepy.
With Uncle Ray got a balloon in him.
I love Ray in the first one because he was like, in the second one they really didn't play it off like they did in the first one where he's like, you think he's gay?
Yeah.
It's raining, man. He's like, it's like what? It's a classic.
Yeah.
All right, or he's like when he's with Brenda, like they're like wants to have sex, whatever. He's like,
take it, Brandon.
And then I like at the end when him and Bobby,
oh my God.
Yeah. And then he's like, if you haven't noticed, Ray is too. He's like, I'm not gay. He was like, but you took me shopping. He took me to San Francisco. I wanted to go shopping. But what about the club you took me to? They had good music. He said, but we made love. He said, wait a minute. You suck my
and then like it just, and then he was like, wait. Like that had me. And then the part after they kill the guy who they think is the fisherman, like, in I Know What You Did. And they're about to like throw his body into the water. It's like, did we check him to see if he had anything on him? Like, I'm gonna take his credit cards. Ooh, I'm gonna take his jewelry. Ray said, I'm gonna take his drawers. Like, it's the way he said it.
No, my part is in that one is when they're in the car and I forget the other Buffy and I forget what was his name, Greg, whatever. They were making down the car. He's like, "Ooh, I love it when you have your finger in my ass." She's like, "Wait, I don't have my finger."
Ray, sorry, man.
Like, and then it makes that pop sound. What? I was like, how far was he in there that you was like cool with it?
Dog, when Greg finds the picture in his locker and he takes the picture of them at like the little the fountain, that had me cracking.
And she's like, it's okay. She's like, it's okay, Greg. Bobby has one too. And he was like, oh, Bobby has one. She's like, oh no. I was like, dang.
They did him so dirty. Like the way they just start dying laughing at the end. They turned off the hot water in the shower, man. Like
yeah.
They didn't look like hot. They didn't look like what that was.
Brother Joe says, who is a fan of the Hatchet? I have not seen the Hatchet movies.
I've seen the Hatchet movies.
I haven't.
You got Candyman.
Legend.
Oh, this is a good one. It says, "Would you guys want a H3 remake, but it's written by Jordan Peele?"
Ooh, that would be good. That would be good.
He says, let's see, it says, it would kind of be like a mystery thriller that expands upon the H3 lore and factory secrets.
Hmm.
Interesting. I think um I don't know, I never was the biggest fan of Halloween 3. I think because what happened was I was watching the AMC thing, years ago when I first like got in to horror, and I was expecting to see Michael throughout all of them. So I get to Halloween 3, and I'm like an hour in, and I'm like, "Where is this dude? Like, why ain't
Dude,
And I'm like texting my friend Sam, and I'm like, "Dude, where is Michael?" And he's like, "Oh, he's like, are you watching Halloween 3?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, he's not in that one."
wait, he is in the movie. He's in the TV.
You know what I meant?
It's not
You
the
know what I
same.
It's
It's
definitely
not the
not.
same.
It's not.
Hey, you know what though? It's still part of the Halloween franchise.
I'm not saying it's not. I just
I enjoy
well,
Halloween. Actually like as its own standalone movie. I really enjoy Halloween 3.
Yeah, but
as
not connecting it to Michael. Yeah, it is a good
Hey,
alone movie.
and it gave us the greatest song that I annoy my wife with. Happy, happy Halloween. Halloween.
I remember that. I remember that.
I annoy the shit out of her with that. I play that song, she'd be like,
That's funny because I like. So he said, "What did he say? Did he say rewrite it or remake it?"
he said, he said basically what Jordan Peele Jordan Peele remade Halloween 3, but it'll actually be like more of a mystery thriller, expands upon the H3 lore and factory secrets.
I would watch it. I think I would watch it. Jordan Peele, he does great when he does movies.
But he said like written by Jordan Peele. So that's the one thing that I get confused on with. If you're remaking it, why do you need to, write it? It's already written.
Well, I mean, so basically, your take, so like do Halloween 3, but do it to your own story, just like Rob Zombie did with Halloween 2.
Okay, that was a mistake, but okay.
Off subject. Do y'all know they just dropped a trailer for the remake of The Color Purple?
Yeah, my mom told me that
Off
earlier.
subject completely. But if someone would have told me that without telling me the cast, I would have been like, that's this garbage. But the casting though looks pretty interesting. Looks like it's gonna be a good movie.
Why are
So.
we remaking movies? Anybody got no original ideas? We're always remaking stuff.
Well, it's gonna be the same movie, but different. Like it's gonna have a twist to it. It's not gonna be the same layout as the movie, the first original movie. I think it may go more so from the book aspect of it.
Well, I mean, you know how that goes. Like, if you make something original, everybody doesn't love it. They immediately start dogging you for it. So then the only thing you can do is just like continue to update what people already know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know how people are. I mean, like the way people came after Nope still pisses me off to this very day. Because it's like, oh, we want something different. And you got something different, and then you're like, oh, we don't like this, And
I enjoyed Nope though. Nope was really good to me.
I did too. Like, it's my favorite movie that I went to go see last year. Like,
But that probably was one thing, but then you start watching it and you realize it's like, yeah, it is kind of where we're going with it, but it's like a whole bigger thing. And I was like, okay.
Halloween Ends was my favorite movie last year.
Was that a joke?
No,
that had to be.
That had to be a joke.
I'm serious.
Halloween Ends.
Halloween Ends is the best movie ever made.
Now we know you're joking.
Well, you guys, it was great being here. We've been on for about. Let me close this out.
That's funny, right? No, I mean, I knew that he said when he put it in the best film of all time category. There's only one movie, to me, that has that spot. That's Scarface.
Scarface is a really good movie.
It's all right.
It's a good movie. I like that.
What?
I like that movie. It's one of my top 3 like gangster type movies, but my top 1 gangster movie is Goodfellas.
Goodfellas.
I love Goodfellas.
But Shape, what am I, a fucking clown for your amusement?
Hey, Scarface is a damn good movie, man. I used to watch that old man when I was a kid. So man, I used to watch that, man. Popped it in. It's like, say hello to my little friend.
Yeah, it's such a good movie, man. Like
I used to always like crack up at the
People
end.
like me. You need people like me. I stick them not to the bad guy.
you can point your fingers and say goodnight to the bad guy.
He said, "It's okay, let her go, let her go. Another Quello, she'll love me in the morning." I was like, "Wow!" Like,
Yeah, he really did say that.
her
Like,
standards though was low because he talked like if that was all it took was some drugs. Like, sis, he talked about your womb and you not to be able to produce children. That would have probably been like the last straw for me.
Man, but
that was the last straw.
at the end, though. But
I
see,
think that was she never came back after that.
what thing is that he got killed at the end, man. But it was like,
yeah, I don't like that he got snuck too. When the way he died, he got snuck.
I mean, it's his sister's fault. I blame the sister on that part because if not for her being in there, actually no, yeah, if it wasn't for her being in there,
she was going to kill Tony herself, man. Because it's like it was crazy because it's like Tony loved his sister, right? He loved his sister. It was like, man, but it's like, dude, I think you love her a little bit too much. Like you got something else going. You got some other intentions with your sister. Like you can, like no other man can be with your sister. It's kind of like, man, this is kind of questionable right now.
I mean, I thought his best friend changed. Like he seems to have changed more, and it was all because he was dating your sister.
I wonder. I had this theory though that, like, not that Scarface figured this out, but I have this theory that Manny might have been an informant because every time some big deal went on, Manny was never there. Like he left Tony to go into it by himself, and Tony got in trouble or got killed. Like, and where is he? He was off getting married. But it's a little strange to me that aside from the Sun Ray thing, the Cubans thing at the very beginning, Manny is not with him for any of that other stuff. Manny wasn't with him in New York when he was supposed to blow up that car. Manny never went with him to Bolivia to talk to Sosa. Like, when they're sitting there and they're washing the money and that clock is recording them, like washing all the money and stuff. So Manny's not there. All the big points where something major is happening with him getting all this money and just doing whatever. He's gone every single time.
Yeah, Manny just was never on cue when he was supposed to be, especially at the beginning. I'm like, you out there talking to these girls. You were supposed to be at that door, mister, like 5 minutes ago. Now,
well, and had he not looked up, he wouldn't even notice because he saw the blood on the window, and that's what made him get out of the car. Because had he not saw that,
Manny used to make me mad in that movie. I'm just like, sir, you not being on cue. Your one job, be on cue. I
have to say, if you don't have it on Blu-ray, get this version, whatever this version is of it. It costs like $7 at Walmart. But
they do have really good deals on the good movies on Blu-ray.
It's got so much like bonus content stuff on here. Like if you like behind the scenes stuff, like they even have this feature on here where it's like picture in picture where it's the 1983 movie happening with the 1932 original version. The scene from the black and white movie from the 30s is in a small frame playing simultaneously with the 1980s version.
Oh,
and you can see how they got like this is a remade version. This is just Al Pacino doing the same thing from this scene, or you know what I mean. And when you really look at it, 3/4 of the movie is like directly remade. Like the only aspect difference is the whole like drug trade, because that's where America was in the 80s. But there's deleted scenes and there's stuff about the editing, the video game, the acting, talking about like just the iconic culture the movie holds. Like Al Pacino was talking about when he burned his hand on the gun and they had to shut down shooting, how the movie was originally rated X, like the original like studio burned down, like all kind of stuff. They thought this movie wasn't going to get made. Like it was really, really interesting.
When I went to Miami, I went to a couple of spots where they shot at just to take pictures. I was just like, I'm here where he was. Yeah. Let me just capture this moment. It was fun. Not a lot of the things though that they had back then are still up,
Yeah.
and if they are still up, they are
It's like
renovated.
abandoned. Oh,
Mhm. Well, no, there was what was the play? I think the hotel they were in the first one. It's still there, but yeah, it is. I don't think it's anything like anymore. It's just the building.
interesting. It's always cool seeing stuff like that.
Yeah, that's
People
my main thing when I travel. I like to go to places that were like I've seen on movies and stuff.
I'm really trying to get like Shape to take me to North Carolina so we can go to that truck stop from Maximum Overdrive. Um, because I really, really want to see if the Green Goblin truck is still there.
Have you ever seen? Okay, no, I've never really watched. I've seen a couple of episodes of The Walking Dead.
I have not even watched The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that makes three of us then.
I seen a couple episodes because my mom was big in The Walking Dead, and it was out. She watched it all the way from beginning to end. She loves Daryl, but I kind of watched a couple episodes here and there with her, but I never really got into The Walking Dead.
Yeah, I think the last one I saw was maybe the first or second season. I don't know. It's like the mayor trapped this girl in a room with one of the zombies, and then I think she was able to get out, or I forgot how it went, but that was the last episode I saw.
Oh, but I think it's going to be that time, the ending time. As sad as it is, we had fun tonight.
We did.
Yeah,
we had fun almost every night.
Talked about Halloween Kills. Talked about superhero. Talked about some wrestling. Talked about everything.
A little bit of everything.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, man. I appreciate it.
No, man. Thanks for coming, man. Like I said, if you want, you come on to the Halloween Ends one too. Talk about some Halloween Ends.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear you guys. I'm interested to hear.
Yes, come. Please join us.
We need more people.
Yeah, so Halloween
the governor. Okay.
Yeah, because Halloween Ends one's going to be not next Monday, but the Monday after.
Yeah, because next Monday we're doing the
Horror
Outcast podcast.
We're talking about Terrifier.
And I'm terrified of clowns. It's gonna be such a hard movie for me.
Because I actually just watched Terrifier 2 because it was on Amazon Prime.
Oh, you watched the second one already?
Yeah, I was like, man, I was like, oh my god,
they're gruesome. They're and the
I felt so bad because I'm watching this range like this. He's watching with me. I'm like, oh my god, I think it turns off, man. I think I'm going to create a little serial killer.
Maybe.
If
any animals start missing,
what's crazy is Serenity actually picks up one of my knives from like I got my Halloween, I got my whole Halloween room set up, right? So I got the knives like on each shelf, right? So I got my figures and I got the knife, on each shelf. She takes one. She's like this. She's like, she'll like poke me with it. She actually had like a toy butter knife because we got like a little like plates and stuff like that, like a little kit, whatever for kids. But she actually grabbed the butter knife. She's like this. She's like,
she's getting that shank arm strong. She gotta get it.
I'm like, man, it's like what? I said, what am I doing? It's
gotta get it ready.
But she'll go up to Michael like, Daddy. Like, wait, what? That's not your dad. I'll be daddy.
He's like, no, I don't have the mask on. I'm right here.
She knows that's you though.
But before we go, I said we'll go and start with Brittany. Got any plugs or anything you want to tell everybody? Anything coming up?
No, you can catch me pretty much here or on the Helvington channel, either on YouTube or Instagram. That's mainly what I do. I'm everybody's Robin, and I appreciate that.
We appreciate you. What are you, Donnie?
I guess I'm everybody's Joker then. I didn't know we were having cool names. No, I have, I got my YouTube channel where, I do the music thing over there, upload clips of me, playing guitar and stuff like that. It's just my name, Donnie Harden Jr. So there's that. But thank you again for having me on, man. I appreciate it. This was super fun, and it gave me something to do while I was watching the Lakers lose. I was also doing this, so it's been a very good night. Like,
Not watching the Lakers lose at the same time.
yeah, I was trying like to like look and not be excited when I saw the timer hit 0 and it said Lakers eliminated. I was trying to not.
But for me, I still get the Horror Outcast podcast next week, Monday at 8:00, and to talk about Terrifier. And I also just uploaded the Halloween H2O Trick or Treat Studios Once a Scale figure. I did the unboxing and review on that. That is out right now, and I do have a couple things coming up. Hopefully, I'll get them in the mail this week. I got 4 other things to be unboxing and doing some videos for you guys. So hopefully, you guys will enjoy those. And so that's pretty much about it coming up for right now. I'm probably going to do some cosplay stuff and everything else coming up. Thinking about doing like a couple little skits and stuff like that in the coming up near future. And yes, Donnie.
The podcast that you're having next week. So do you guys are you watching movies and then coming back and talking about it? Like that's what that whole podcast is about?
Well,
I don't think I've seen an episode.
Oh, I mean, you. Well, the first one we did was over Scream. We did our Scream rankings, and then so this one I think we're just going to talk about Terrifier 1 and 2, or you said both, yeah. So, I mean, you could do a little rewatch if you haven't seen them, or if this will be your first time watching. I mean, they're pretty good.
Well, I was just thinking if we were watching movies and then coming back and talking about them, because I was recommending to him to watch some Vincent Price movies, which I thought would be. I thought you watch it, hey, and we come back and we talk about it. Okay. So I was just thinking of just suggestions and stuff. I know Tubi has a lot of his movies on there.
Yeah. But again, guys, thank you all for coming. It was awesome. Hey, and always remember, everybody, the shape is always in the shadows. Always.
That's so unnerving.
It is, and the fact that he's not saying anything is kind of freaking me out just a little bit.
That's the weird part too, because like Michael really does do that. He hit you with that, like
little hill tip, just little hill tip, just a little bit.